This young man was stunned by the scene before him. He saw his parents. Their faces were still very young. Both were soothing Nonha with baby toys in their hands. Nonha wasn't sure what was happening. He even thought he had been reincarnated into the next life. But when Nonha reached out to touch his mother's hand, he discovered his hand was tiny and he couldn't move at all. This body seemed like Nonha wasn't dead. Instead, he had gone back in time to when he was just 1 year old. This was so shocking that Nonha kept his eyes wide open. He felt this was totally illogical. How could he possibly turn back time? He only remembered that he was barely alive in the ABC dungeon. Meanwhile, Lee Yu-dong kept crying and mentioning the words miracle. Could it be that she had activated a miracle? Lee Yu-dong possessed power on par with those who sat on the 12 thrones, so it wasn't surprising if she really did this. But talking about turning back time was still hard to believe. Then Nonha looked at his parents' carefree faces. His nose tingled slightly. He never thought he'd see them again. In his previous life, they both died when monsters attacked when he was just 6 years old. Since then, Nonha always lived with hatred for monsters and became one who slaughtered them in return. But now Nonha had been granted a second chance. So this time, with these very hands, he would change his destiny. In Nonha's baby form, though he retained all memories before rebirth, the truth was he was still just a child. In other words, he couldn't do a damn thing. Every day was just eating and sleeping, but at least Nonha had the chance to live again, and that was his chance to protect himself, both literally and figuratively. Figuratively meant Nonha could avoid the tragedies of his past life. Literally meant today he learned to crawl, and his first ever crawl was enthusiastically cheered on by a special fan named Nuna. Nuna was his cute older sister, just a little older than him. But Nonha's memories of his sister were vague compared to those of his parents. There was only one moment he remembered very clearly. The day his family was attacked by monsters. His sister held him tightly, using her small body to shield him. Crying, she said, "Unha, I will protect you this life." Nuna was still a beloved sister who cared for her brother. When she saw Nuna successfully roll over, she rushed to hug him, rubbing her cheek against his and praising, "Wow, you're so good, my beloved little brother." Just like that. "You're amazing, my dear little brother," that's how it was. Overall, Nonha did well in every way, just expressed his emotions a bit excessively. Time passed like that. In the blink of an eye, Nonha was now a 9-month-old child who could sit steadily, and he began collecting mana everywhere, even in small amounts existing in the air. Before reincarnation, Nonha didn't have much mana in his body, so that time was quite difficult. Therefore, if his body could handle it, he wanted to start absorbing mana from early on like this. But this process wasn't smooth because Nonha kept causing trouble. When she saw her little brother sitting cross-legged like an old man, she couldn't help but want to come over and tease him. But because of that, Nonha suddenly realized something. His sister possessed a lot of mana in her body. That wasn't necessarily a good thing, because if someone had too much mana, they would suffer from mana condensation disease, which could eventually harm their health. Nonha didn't want this to happen to his sister, so he needed to help her control her mana. Innocent Nonha was completely unaware of these things. All she wanted was to cling to her little brother and grow up together with him. Time flew by like a dog running through the fields. Before long, Nonha was 4 years old. Now he could do more things and spent more time outside than inside the house. The reason is that every time Nonha goes out, he brings his sister along. Not only famous among the kids, but also well-known throughout the neighborhood. Compared to his sister, he doesn't seem to be welcomed much by the other kids. "Hey, Nonha, why are you here? You didn't need to come, and yet here you are again." Look at this kid's attitude. Clearly doesn't want to see him, but it's me who was dragged along. "Minji Dummy," Nonha replied. "I told you not to call me that. My name is Kim Minji, not Minji Dummy." The other kid shouted so loud it hurt Nonha's ears. After Nonha arrived at the playground, she quickly proved herself as the leader of this group of kids. So the whole group gathered to get ready to play cops and robbers. Nonha wasn't excited at all because he felt he shouldn't be playing with kids when he was already 32 years and 4 months old. But when he saw his sister's smile, Nonha felt this experience wasn't so bad after all. He decided to play along because she was able to play with the two kids until late afternoon. By the time they got home, they were covered in mud. But Nonha seemed very happy. Everything was calm until they passed an alley and heard growling from a wild dog. The dog's eyes were bloodshot and terrifying, and Nonha, who was only half a head taller than his younger brother, didn't hesitate to stand in front of him. "Unha, it's okay. I will—" Nonha's voice was clearly trembling with fear. And Nonha realized this situation was just like in his previous life. It seems no matter how many times he is reborn, his sister will always risk everything to protect him like this. He still clearly remembered her words and the feeling of her trembling arms around him. But this time, everything was different. Noonha bravely stepped forward to face the dog. "No, I will protect you." As soon as he said this, his mana was released. Noonha stared straight at the dog and shouted, "Go away!" What scared the dog wasn't Noonha's childish face or voice, but the mana he radiated. Without waiting for a second command, the dog tucked its tail and ran away. Noonha was so shocked, she stood with her mouth wide open for a long time. Then she regained composure and rushed to her younger brother with great excitement. "Unha, what just happened? That was mana, right? I want to do that too, teach me." Noonha was overexcited, but with her personality, this reaction was normal. Finally, Noonha agreed to her sister's request. After all, since she was 9 months old, he had intended to teach her. Noonha seemed very happy and grabbed her brother's hand, running home together. Noonha always wanted to protect her sister's smile. To do that, he had to prevent the family tragedy that happened when he was 6 years old to change that horrific future. Noonha swore he would do anything. So after returning home, he began to be a private tutor for his sister, teaching her how to control the mana in her body from the smallest steps. But this was quite difficult for her. Noonha's constant failures made him feel this world was truly fair. His sister was born with the blessing of mana, but had no talent to control it, while he didn't have as much mana naturally, but was very skilled at manipulating it. Fortunately, Noonha was persistent from a young age, so many failures didn't make her give up. "Just wait and see, I'm sure I'll get it." Persistence was a plus, but impatience was a minus. The exercise Noonha set for her sister was to use mana to balance a spinning top. But she got too impatient and used too much mana, making the top fly uncontrollably. Up to that point, their family was still very peaceful and happy. One evening, while the family was watching TV together, Noonha's mother mentioned that next year he would be 6 years old, and it was time to start kindergarten. "I don't want to, Noonha," Unha pouted in response. "No, you promised Mom, didn't you?" It's true that before this, Noonha had whined for a long time before their mother allowed him to skip kindergarten when he was young. But in the end, he promised their mother he would start school at 6. Noonha couldn't believe that he, someone who had lived nearly 45 years across 2 lifetimes, was about to endure kids who were always crying and being troublesome. Just thinking about it makes me tired. Coincidentally, today is also the last day of the year. On TV, a live broadcast of the New Year's Eve program is airing. According to the MC, the moment of stepping into the new year is also the moment South Korea makes a new history for humanity. The screen switches to a female reporter sitting on a plane. She says that they are now flying over the Jongmyo tomb where their ancestors, the kings and queens of the Joseon dynasty, rest. A new chapter in South Korea's history is about to be opened, ladies and gentlemen. Noonha feels the female MC's voice making her head a bit fuzzy. A new chapter. It seems they have set their expectations too high. After humanity learned how to use mana, people have always been busy mastering it. So they didn't realize that because mana was concentrated in one place, monsters had also started to appear. In 1999, before the 21st century began, that terrifying event happened, later referred to as the end of a century. Monsters broke out and began massacring everywhere. Because of this, South Korea lost 30% of its population. Humanity then truly understood human fear. Since then, they have lived in constant anxiety, always fearing that monsters could appear in the blink of an eye. The government and existing laws lost their original power, because only strength could defeat monsters, or rather only mana could establish a new order for the world. True power in South Korea then belonged only to the wealthy class known as the Chaebol and players with abundant mana like Noonha in her previous life. It was also because of the emergence of this new powerful group that the current government was replaced. But by the time the situation stabilized, many casualties had occurred, and people lost contact with each other. So in remote areas, people had no choice but to wait for the monsters to come and devour them. But amidst the despair in South Korea at that time, a light suddenly flashed. That was the goddess Limga Yoon. At this moment, Limga Yoon's face also appeared on TV. She was once a famous actress, and has now become the first-generation goddess protecting South Korea. Limga Yoon became a goddess because she possessed the ability to prevent mana from exploding, and could also disperse it. This ability was called White Grace. All players protecting the shrine became the country's protector swords, known as the 12 Golden Thrones. Nominally, these players were managed by the Mana Management Association. But most truly powerful players formed their own guilds and operated there. As someone gifted with the rare destiny to stop monsters and control Korean public opinion, Lim Ga-yoon became the first player to hold the title of the 12 Golden Thrones. Then the other names gradually appeared. Players who held the 12 Golden Thrones title and belonged to guilds began to use both the power of the Mana Management Association and their own guild's power to gather strength and rule over other players. At that moment, Lim Ga-yoon, dressed in traditional attire lavishly made up, stood solemnly before a magical orb placed in front of the shrine. "Gods of the heavens and earth, please grant us the power to protect this land." As soon as she finished speaking, a dazzling blue light radiated from the orb. The light quickly spread, covering the entire city and gradually enveloping the whole country. The camera then returned to the female MC sitting on the helicopter. Thanks to the aerial angle, the magical blue light looked even more impressive. "Ladies and gentlemen, a protective barrier has just been created right before our eyes. This hemispherical shield can prevent mana explosions." Nuna, extremely excited, ran out to the balcony to see. No Eun-ha followed her sister. The scene before them was truly impressive. Although it was nighttime, the sky was covered with a shimmering blue light completely different from the reflection of electric lights. Both of No Yoon-ha's parents looked up at the sky, then clasped their hands together and began to pray. "Now we can live in peace. Thank you, goddess." Countless other families stood on their balconies praying just like them. No Eun-ha also imitated his parents by clasping his hands together and didn't forget to make his younger brother follow suit. But he knew well that praying was useless because there are no gods in this world. He still clearly remembered the memories from his previous life when the world was destroyed and all the gods had perished. The blue light in the sky gradually faded away. Meanwhile, No Yoon-ha beside her was still focused on praying, "I pray the goddess to allow our family to live happily together." No Eun-ha watched his sister intently, then smiled, and then he also clasped his hands sincerely, praying, "I pray the goddess to give me time to live happily in this life." In a flash, another year passed. No Eun-ha was now 6 years old, and the event that would cause him to lose his family forever was drawing very near. Finally, No Yoon-ha had no choice but to go to kindergarten. On his first day, he was warmly welcomed by Teacher Tao, and the first activity was always to introduce oneself. No Eun-ha stood on the podium looking at the kids below with immense dislike. "Hello, my name is No Eun-ha. I am 6 years old. Let's play together later." No Yoon-ha's introduction couldn't have been any shorter. Tao thought he hadn't finished speaking, but after waiting a while, No Yoon-ha said nothing more. He coaxed him, "You're a bit brief. Do you want to say more? I think the others would really like to know about you." But No Eun-ha didn't want to be friends with these kids, so he declined to continue his introduction. Then something interesting happened. He ended up in the same class as Kim Min-ji, the kid he always called Silly Min-ji. As soon as Kim Min-ji saw him, she shouted, "Why are you in our class?" "Oh, so this is Silly Min-ji, you study here too?" No Yoon-ha replied, teasing the kid to annoy her. Kim Min-ji was like a little volcano, getting furious every time she saw him. Teacher Tao saw the tension between the two kids and had to step in to make peace. After that reluctant introduction, the kids had time to play on their own before lunch. At first, Tao worried No Yoon-ha would have no friends. But the other kids seemed very interested in the new friend and quickly crowded around him. Each of them asked a question from where he lived, how many people were in his family, to his likes and dislikes. No Eun-ha got a headache from all the kids. This was exactly why he hated little kids. He struggled to escape. No Yoon-ha wandered around the kindergarten and discovered the children's reading corner. At least this place was quiet. He randomly picked some children's books to pass the time. There was another beautiful little girl reading a book here. But No Yoon-ha hadn't noticed her at first until a noisy group of kids appeared and broke the quiet atmosphere that No Yoon-ha had just barely found. Leading the group was Choi Eun-hyuk, followed closely by his two underlings named Ma Bang-jin and John Seong-jin. "Hey, reading books again. What's fun about that?" "Dong-ha Jang, don't you have any friends? Why do I always see you alone?" Choi Eun-hyuk shouted loudly. The girl named Dong-ha Jiang looked clearly worried when she saw this kid. It seemed she had been bullied many times already, and Choi Eun-hyuk seemed well used to being the kindergarten bully. As soon as he appeared, he rushed forward and grabbed the bow on Dong-ha Jiang's head. "What is this ugly headband?" Dong-ha Jiang quickly stood up to reclaim her item. "That's a bow my dad bought for me." But the kindergarten big shots weren't about to let her off that easily. The result was Dong Ha-jang crying and begging. Meanwhile, Choi Un-hyuk and his two underlings laughed heartily. Kids, huh? No Yoon-ha, who had been silent until then, suddenly said something with the high self-esteem of a 6-year-old. Choi Un-hyuk was annoyed. Look at this kid, he's so angry right now. What did you just say? He glared at No Yoon-ha. But he couldn't have imagined that the person he was provoking was actually a terrifying man trapped in a kid's body. Otherwise, he probably would have fainted from fear. Enough, No Yoon-ha! Slowly stand up and walk over to Choi Un-hyuk. I said you're just a kid. Do you think it's fun to act like that? Choi Un-hyuk got furious. His small hand clenched into a fist and swung toward the other. No Eun-ha didn't rush to fight back, but just tilted his head to dodge. Seeing Choi Un-hyuk so skilled like this, he must be experienced in bullying classmates. Kids like that need to be disciplined. So No Eun-ha kicked him once. The kid flew straight backward and hit the ground hard. Then he picked up the red bow and returned it to its owner. Here's yours. Next time, don't let them snatch it away. Choi Un-hyuk was helped up by his two little henchmen. The dull pain from his butt all the way down must have made him really angry. My uncle definitely won't let you off. He threatened, but No Yoon-ha couldn't believe such words could come from a 6-year-old. He spun around and shot him a bullet-like glare. Choi Un-hyuk was so scared his legs gave out and he ran away quickly with his two followers. After the three of them left, Dong Ha-jang timidly tugged on No Yoon-ha's sleeve. When he turned back, he saw the girl laughing and crying at the same time. Thank you for getting my ribbon back for me. She looked fragile, but both Kim Min-ji and the kid Choi Un-hyuk earlier had above-average mana, and most of the kids here had similar levels of mana. So No Yoon-ha started getting curious about how much mana Dong Ha-jang actually had, and it turned out he got another secret. After checking again, he found that this girl's mana seemed even more abundant than his older sister's. Moreover, compared to No Yoon-ha, Dong Ha-jang seemed better at controlling mana, so her mana kept increasing over time. Someone like her, when she grows up, will definitely be among the 12 thrones, or at least become a seed candidate for one of them. But in his previous life, No Yoon-ha had never heard the name Dong Ha-jang, so he was quite curious. Even if she didn't become a player, she should be famous with that much mana. To clarify this, No Yoon-ha took the initiative to befriend Young Ha-jiang. He was living in a world where mana was the supreme power, so it would be very beneficial to get close to her. And she had no reason to refuse someone who had helped her. And just like that, he had his first friend in kindergarten. Seeing my son behave well and not cause trouble at school makes No Yoon-ha's mom very happy. Even after he got home, she deliberately checked his backpack and found the paper carnation bouquet he had cut at school. No Yoon-ha's mom wore a bouquet on her chest given by her son, along with a carnation given by her daughter. But his older sister was really clumsy. No Yoon-ha, you cut 3 flowers right? One for Dad, one for Mom, and one for Grandma, right, Mom? He suddenly asked, making No Yoon-ha's eyes light up in anticipation. After a while, No Yoon-ha struggled to answer that the 3rd flower was for his grandmother. In his previous life, elementary school also made students fold carnations on Parents' Day, but by then, No Yoon-ha had lost both his mom and dad. Still, he had to do it and stuffed that ugly carnation into his backpack. Then his grandmother, who always packed his bag every day, took it out and carefully decorated it in the entrance hall. Every year after that, No Yoon-ha folded carnations, but never gave one to his grandmother because he thought giving her flowers would lessen his family's sorrow and hatred for monsters. And No Yoon-ha wouldn't allow that to happen. He wanted to live like a monster without feelings to get revenge. So his feelings for his grandmother were hidden deep until she passed away. That's why in this life saying he loved her was one thing No Yoon-ha was determined to do. That fateful day was coming closer and closer. On that May 4th, the Heavenly Maiden government opened restricted routes so people could visit relatives during Family Month. And to prepare for monsters appearing on the roads, they hired many player squads. But because the Kraken monster with destructive power suddenly appeared, there were more casualties than expected. And No Yoon-ha's family on their way to visit his grandmother was caught in this tragedy. This life, it seemed everything was following a similar script. When No Yoon-ha's father returned from the company and suggested they should visit grandmother tomorrow. But No Yoon-ha absolutely could not let that happen, no way. More specifically, it was No Yoon-ha's grandmother. Since his father was an orphan, the only grandmother he had was on his mother's side. In his previous life, he grew up with his grandmother after his entire family died. When his emotions became numb and he lived like a loser, She was the one who took care of everything for him until the day she passed away. No Eunha's father seemed excited. They hadn't been able to visit grandmother for a long time because the outskirts of Osul were quite dangerous. But this year, the government repaired the roads and promised everything was under control, so everyone felt reassured, including No Eunha's parents. Only he knew about that tragedy. "Can we visit grandmother some other time?" He hesitantly made the request. His parents were puzzled because just before No Eunha had even picked a carnation to give to grandmother. "Yes, I want to see grandmother too, but not tomorrow. Can we go another day?" This was harder than No Eunha had imagined. After all, he was still just a kid now. His words didn't carry much weight. But he had to act like a child so his parents wouldn't get suspicious. Forcing them not to go tomorrow might make them suspicious. So No Eunha tried to show his genuine childish side without faking it. "Because Children's Day is coming, I want to go to the playground and ride the V-kin creatures. They say it's not far from our home." This suggestion was quickly supported by another child in the house, Nuna. It was rare for his parents to see both kids this excited. Before, neither No Eunha nor Nuna wanted to go to the playground because there were too many monsters outside, so they had no choice but to change their plans. Instead of visiting grandmother, they would go to the playground tomorrow. "Then I'll pack lunch to take along. Is there anything everyone wants to eat?" "Great, I want sandwiches and fried chicken." Nuna was so happy she jumped up and down. No Eunha quietly breathed a sigh of relief. The plan succeeded. Even though he couldn't stop the Kraken monster from escaping, at least he could prevent his family from encountering it. This would be the first step in changing the future. However, No Eunha had never thought about something called the butterfly effect. It seemed his small action had unintentionally changed many things in the future. So not long after, No Eunha's mother suddenly received a phone call. It was unclear what was said on the other end, but she looked so worried she was about to cry. After hanging up, No Eunha's mother said that his grandmother had just collapsed. This made him feel very illogical, because in his previous life, his grandmother's health was clearly fine. But anyway, this messed up all of No Eunha's plans, and his father insisted on taking his wife there. Seeing his son's face darken, No Eunha's mother thought he was upset about missing the playground trip. She knelt down to be eye level with him, then gently comforted him. "No Eunha, grandmother isn't feeling well. I know you really want to go to the playground, but can we wait until next time?" No Eunha was extremely confused because he had tried to change the future, and now his grandmother was hurt. If he tried to intervene further, surely something worse would happen. Is there really no way for him to stop his family from facing that Kraken? If not, then what's the point of his being brought back to life? No Eunha was so tense that he had difficulty breathing. After thinking for a while, he realized the only difference in this life was himself. He was different from his past life. Specifically, he had been accumulating mana since he was 9 months old. At the same time, he had combat experience from his previous life. So if he couldn't prevent his family from colliding with the Kraken, the only way left was for him to fight that monster himself. The Mana Management Association classified all monsters based on their danger level. Rank 9 were monsters that polluted the environment or spread disease. Rank 8 were monsters that posed physical dangers to everyday life. Rank 7 are monsters committing mid-level crimes like robbery and murder. Rank 6 are monsters that paralyze administrative work in the city, whether they operate in groups or alone. Monsters that invade human territory or have forces with equivalent threat levels are classified as Rank 5. Rank 4 are monsters that control packs to harm humans or threaten the human economy. Rank 3 are monsters capable of paralyzing government-level administrative work. They are identified as entities that cause damage comparable to disasters. Even higher Rank 2 are monsters that can paralyze government-level administrative work. They are identified as entities causing damage equivalent to catastrophes. And the highest Rank 1 are monsters capable of threatening human existence. They are identified as entities. Kraken is a Rank 1 monster. In the previous life, around the time Nonha graduated from the Player Academy, it was downgraded to Rank 4 due to the overall increase in player strength. But right now, players in the Kraken area only appear from Rank E to C, so they definitely can't defeat that monster. Of course, with the current situation, you can't beat it either. There is only one way to survive. You have to stall until the 12 thrones appear and defeat this monster. Even worse, the only weapon a 6-year-old like you has is scissors and a utility knife. Nonha naturally wants to bring something else like a kitchen knife, but his parents would notice those flimsy weapons like craft scissors. If you coat them with mana, they can still deal some damage to the monster. Naunha, are you ready? We're leaving now. Mom suddenly peeked into the room. Yes, I'm coming out right now. I'm ready, Naunha replied. The readiness he mentioned was being prepared to face Kraken today. Because it's a day when roads are repaired, and it's family month, the traffic is jammed solid. Naunha's parents sitting in the front seats felt impatient. Yet their little son showed no sign of being tired or angry. Unlike Nunha, who had drooled in his sleep. Actually, Naunha wasn't really relaxed either. The further from the city center, the more tense he became. By memories from his previous life, Naunha remembered the Kraken appeared when his family crossed the sand motorbike bridge. But now they had passed more than half the bridge and the monster was still silent. Could the future really be changing again? Please let us cross the bridge safely, he prayed silently. But it seemed the Kraken mocked his desperate wish, saying, "You cannot change your tragic fate." Because right after Nonha's silent prayer, the Rank 3 disaster-class monster appeared. Its tentacles moved, destroying everything around. Roads and nearby vehicles were smashed. A huge boulder fell on a car, completely destroying it. The terrified people scattered in panic. From afar, a group of people in black ran over. "What are you players doing?" "They're here," the blond young man leading shouted loudly. "Protect everyone! Charge!" He suddenly looked up. A tentacle slammed straight into the blond young man. He was covered in blood, raising a trembling hand. Seeing this, his followers panicked and fled. One angry man shouted, "You damn players! If you run away, what are we supposed to do now?" Scene shifts to Nunha's family inside a car. Nunha's father's voice trembled. "We should get out too. It's chaotic outside, so be careful when we get out." "It's okay, just trust Dad. If we move calmly, we can evacuate safely." Nonha and Wong-Ah hugged each other in fear. Nunha's parents turned back to reassure their children. "Did you hear what Dad just said? Stay calm when you get out. The players will protect us, so don't worry." And so the family of 4 left the heavily damaged car. Unha just went outside and his face turned pale. She sat down on the ground, making him startled, and called out to her. Unha's legs trembled. "Why can't you stand up?" "You need to stand up. You need to stand up and walk." Nonha's father looked at her with a worried face. He approached her and offered, "I will carry Unha." Nunha's father turned to him and asked, "Nonha, are you okay?" Nonha replied, "Yes, I can walk." A player pointed and shouted loudly, "This way! Please follow me to evacuate to another place." Nunha ran after him. Thinking about it, even though a level 3 Kraken monster appeared and players were panicking, the veteran players quickly assessed the situation and focused on evacuating the civilians. However, the Kraken was not the only problem. "We need to get off the bridge before they appear." Suddenly, a spear pierced through the leader. He had no time to react and was stabbed right there. Nunha's family was startled and panicked. A hand with sharp claws clung to the bridge railing and climbed up. He frowned and thought silently, "They're here, the level 7 potential monsters." One came forward and pulled the spear out of the body. Its eyes were bloodshot with sharp teeth looking at humans. One lunged and bit hard on a nearby woman's shoulder. The players fell into trouble as they just appeared. A man supporting a wounded girl spoke up. "Is there anyone here who knows healing magic?" A woman hearing this ran over but was stabbed through with a spear after just a few steps. Without stopping, countless potential monsters rushed into attack. 2 people from Nonha's family looked around at the scene in shock. Nonha's father shouted loudly, "Kids, do you believe Dad? No matter what happens, Dad will protect you, so don't look back. Just keep running." They ran with all their might. A tentacle coiled several cars together and then lifted them all onto the bridge. The tentacle threw the cars forcefully toward the fleeing people. Ha looked at the objects flying overhead in amazement and quickly shouted, "Dad, it's dangerous!" The cars fell down and slammed into people nearby. One car fell hard and an oil truck exploded on impact, creating a huge fire blocking the path ahead. On Nunha's father's face was filled with despair. A player shouted, "When will the reinforcements arrive? Because of the fire, the road is blocked." The person opposite replied, "Only a few minutes now, we have to hold out until reinforcements come." He thought silently, "Reinforcements from the 12 thrones right before I reset." The 12 thrones arrived here 30 minutes after the Kraken appeared. Can the players protect everyone when the escape route is blocked? They can inflict some damage on the potential monsters, but if no one handles the Kraken, we will all die. Unha took a deep breath and exhaled slowly, then put down his backpack. From the start, I was prepared for this. Even if I have to risk my life, I will protect my whole family. Noonha's mother saw him take out a knife and nervously called Un-ha. Ha looked at them and said, "Mom, Dad, please don't move until the rescue arrives." Noonha's father's voice trembled. "Un-ha, what are you doing?" Un-ha's eyes were full of determination. The players will stop the monster's attacks. Even so, if something dangerous happens, Un-ha will protect Dad and Mom. He thought, if I leave, the only one here who knows how to use mana is Un-ha. She smiled and said, "You can do it right, Un-ha." She became flustered and only knew to call him. Seeing him run off, Un-ha shouted loudly, "Un-ha, you!" Filled with fighting spirit, holding a paper-cutting knife, he charged forward. Un-ha ran with incredible speed, channeling power into his legs, pushing off strongly to launch himself forward. He stomped hard over the moving cars. Suddenly, his body ran through an electric current. He bit his teeth in pain, trying to endure it. This is the movement speed boost skill I used in my past life. This is the first time using it in this body, but it really is a bit too much for a child's body. But if I use it, I'll get to the Kraken right away. Despite the pain the skill causes, Un-ha keeps using it relentlessly. He lands hard on the hood of a car and then speeds off again. Two people nearby are shocked. What is that kid doing? It's dangerous there. Hearing the shout, two ambush fish immediately focus on them. Seeing Un-ha, they block the way. He grips the knife tightly, unleashing mana in his hand. Un-ha wields the knife with explosive power. He tilts his head to dodge a swipe from an ambush fish and takes the chance to chop off its head. One falls down, but the others rush in immediately. He jumps up to avoid a deadly strike from an ambush fish and lands, stabbing hard into its neck. Another ambush fish flies in, lunging at him. Un-ha, quick as lightning, slices across, cutting off its head. He grits his teeth, suddenly realizing there's still an ambush fish striking them that sent him flying. Un-ha slams down on a nearby car, but quickly gets back up. Exhausted, he raises the knife in front of him. This time, 4 ambush fish charge in to attack simultaneously. Un-ha pulls the knife back for momentum and swings with all his strength, slicing off one of its arms. He runs quickly toward the ambush fish, his eyes flashing as he turns around and slashes back at its arm. The ambush fish's arm is severed. He thinks to himself, "I'm alert now, feeling like I killed these monsters myself before I reincarnated." Un-ha grits his teeth, a murderous aura bursting out. "Now I will become the undefeated again." He roars fiercely with full spirit. Countless slashes fly out simultaneously, and all the ambush fish are defeated. Landing, another ambush fish hides under a car, opening its mouth wide. Un-ha quickly jumps up to avoid its bite. He swiftly slashes down, stabbing hard into its head. Behind him, one is slowly approaching, swinging its tail, but Un-ha notices it. Charging forward with a strong swing, the ambush fish is sliced in half. But his fragile knife breaks into many pieces because of that. If it couldn't take it anymore, toss it away. Un-ha pulls out a spare pair of scissors. No problem, he breaks them into 2 small knives. Un-ha uses the speed boost skill again and dashes forward. He stops on top of a car. In front of him is a giant monster covered in tentacles. He prepares to attack. "I'll fight with this." A tentacle rises high into the air, grabbing cars to attack. Un-ha uses the speed boost to run and dodge. He steps on one of its tentacles, carrying it with him. Un-ha runs straight up close, then jumps high into the air with great force. The terrifying face of the monster is visible. Un-ha stabs hard, with both blades sliding down and leaving a long wound. Un-ha pulls out one blade, then stabs down again with all his strength. From afar, a tentacle rapidly approaches. He lets go and falls to avoid the attack. Un-ha lands without any injury. He looks at the bent scissors and thinks one blade is broken now. Without hesitation, Un-ha throws it away. He puts all his strength into the remaining blade. Is this all I have left? Un-ha runs one way to avoid a tentacle lunging down. He steps on the tentacle and runs up. Un-ha ducks low to dodge another tentacle. He jumps down, raising the scissors high, gathers all his strength, and shouts loudly. Suddenly, a tentacle reaches him. Un-ha can't react in time, gets hit squarely, and falls down. Landing, Un-ha quickly retreats, gripping the scissors tightly. Damn, I'm almost out of mana. The Kraken suddenly changes its attack direction to the bridge pillar, smashing it hard and breaking it. As a result, the place where Un-ha stands also crumbles, and he panics. This annoying bastard. Un-ha steps on the broken stones and runs away. After a while, a section of the bridge completely collapses. Un-ha manages to run to the intact part without resting. Kraken carried the truck, preparing to attack. The truck was cracked apart by its grip. Kraken threw the truck with great force, and Un-ha was almost exhausted. He strained all his strength and yelled, "Take this, you dog!" Un-ha raised his scissors, generating immense power. Suddenly, the truck was sliced in half and no one else but Anha had just swung it down. The truck flew behind him and exploded. He stood still, breathing heavily, looking at his hands covered in wounds. Anha suddenly collapsed from exhaustion, his head hitting the stone floor hard. Anha lay still without any movement, trying to force himself to get up. Damn it, I can't move. Have I completely run out of mana? No, if I lose consciousness here, everything I've built will collapse. Anha's eyes looked at Kraken, growing dimmer, and then closing tightly, leaving only darkness. Suddenly, he punched the ground hard. Anha used his last bit of strength to stay awake. Not yet, I'm not going to end like this. I want to live. I want to live happily with my family in this life. A tentacle raised up, gathering momentum, then charged fiercely toward him. Anha trembled. I don't want to die here. Suddenly, from behind him, a pair of hands reached out. An hugged him, shouting, "Don't hurt my little brother!" A massive surge of energy burst from her body. It formed a shield that blocked Kraken's attack. The nearby sea creatures noticed but were instantly destroyed by Erna's energy light. A beam of energy shot straight up into the sky. Erna was shocked, unable to believe it. This was a miracle. A miracle, a talent capable of restructuring the world by changing its laws. Before reincarnation, Erna knew of 4 people believed to possess this miraculous talent. The only person he could entrust everything to was his colleague Lee Yu-jung. After seeing the enormous mana Erna had, Anha thought she might possess the miracle talent. Anha held him close, reassuring, "It's safe now, Anha." Anha was amazed to see his wounds healing. Not only that this light protected us from the Kraken, but there is a price to using the miracle. Those with the miracle must pay a heavy price to restructure the world. He worried, "Anna, are you okay? Do you feel any pain?" She smiled and replied, "I'm fine." But suddenly Anna collapsed. "I'm so sleepy." Then she fainted in Anna's arms. A light glowed in the center of Anna's chest. He looked at her and smiled faintly. She only had a little mana left, just enough to keep her alive. Is her mana the price to pay? Anha laid Anna down and wished her a good sleep for the rest of it. Anha's eyes filled with killing intent as he unleashed his own mana. The tentacles continued their attack once again. Kraken's eyes turned blood red. He laughed coldly. "You've opened your eyes. Are you sure she's the enemy?" It swung its tentacle hard, and with a strong slash, a liquid splattered. The tentacle was injured. "You have no chance of touching her." This time Anha was no longer weak and faced it head-on. He slashed horizontally, cutting 2 tentacles and causing them to bleed. "My mana has recovered. I can't defeat the Kraken now, but the future has changed. My family is still alive. There's nothing left to fear. I just need to hold on until the 12th day, that's it." When Kraken appeared, he was on Wonyo Bridge not far away. Someone annoyed spoke up, "This is really troublesome." This person was Hunchin, who couldn't move at all. "Are you sure you're driving, not dozing off while pretending to drive?" The young driver stammered, "There are a lot of cars on the road. At this hour, all roads in Seoul are like this." He was annoyed. "Do I have to ask permission to leave on the 12th day, or what? Why do I have to work on my precious days off? I joined the 12 just to fight strong opponents, not to save civilians." Suddenly, both of them felt it at the same time. The young driver spoke up, "That's an enormous amount of mana." Hunchin raised his hand to stop him. "I know already." At that moment, a phone on him rang. Hunchin answered the call. "You felt it too, right?" The person on the other end didn't deny it. "Yeah." He wondered what it was about. The other person replied according to received information. "It's a rank 3 Kraken Kang Heon Cheon." Frowning, he repeated rank 3 star. He smiled with interest. "Where is it?" The young driver was scared. How can he look so happy about a monster? Anyone who saw that face would probably go crazy. The person on the phone explained, "Obviously, it's at Zeom-san Bridge. You come and take care of it too. There are already some players at the scene. I'm still not sure about the losses, but the situation there is very chaotic." He said nonchalantly, "All right, then I'll come see you later." Then the person hung up. Hunchin opened the door and got out of the car. The young driver panicked. "Captain, what are you doing?" He stretched and smirked. What else running there, of course? "With this traffic jam, when will I even get there?" He unlocked a tightly closed suitcase and took out a sword from inside. The young driver was amazed. Running on foot will take 2 hours even by car. He laughed confidently. 30 minutes is enough. Hunchin used mana to enhance his strength, his whole body radiating immense energy. Hunchin lowered his center of gravity, focusing power into his legs. He stomped hard, cracking the pavement, then dashed away at incredible speed. The young driver just watched Hunchin leave. He sighed, "That's really the captain. He fights like a maniac. His only wish in life is to fight strong opponents." Captain of the Fire Demon Sword Guild, Kang Hunchin. 30 minutes later, a terrifying sea monster rushed in but was slashed by Hunchin's sword. The slash carried fire, burning its entire body. He suddenly noticed a giant pillar of light created by Inha ahead. Is that magic? There's no one at the scene who could cast such a huge spell, meaning Hunchin's mouth involuntarily curved into an interested smile. A newcomer in front of Inha was constantly protecting it. Inha used both hands to slash the tentacles hard. Wong-ha gritted his teeth, channeling mana into his hands. From afar, Hunchin charged forward with his flaming sword. He swung strongly, cutting off the tentacle attacking Wong-ha. The boy saw that and breathed a sigh of relief. They're here. After attacking, Hunchin immediately landed next to the fire demon. Hunchin, the tentacle he cut off, kept burning without stopping. The dragon writhed in pain, gradually sinking into the sea to escape. The huge dragon was no longer visible. The fire control ability, a power that allows him to freely control fire, is why he's called Fire Demon Hunchin. Turning to look at him, seeing Wong-ha was quite surprising. Just 2 kids, I can see the mana flow around the girl. Did those kids just cast magic? Probably the girl lost consciousness from using up all her mana, and the boy protected her from the kraken. These 2 kids are strong. If they grow up to be players, it'll be very interesting. Hunchin said, "Don't worry. I'm not going to fight you kids, at least not right now." Wong-ha's eyes were full of caution as he looked at him. Hunchin raised his sword high and shouted, "The only reason I'm here is to cut this kraken apart. Step back, kid, it's about to surface." Just as Hunchin said, it was slowly surfacing again before regressing. Hunchin smirked, "So you're the immortal. You've been pretty famous lately, huh?" Wong-ha's cold eyes stared at him. After a moment, he spoke, "What do you want?" He smirked. "It's nothing. Just wanted to see if you're as strong as the rumors say." "Then fight me," Wong-ha said coldly. "If you don't like it, step aside." Hunchin blocked him. "I don't want you to pass until you've fought me." You sighed, deeply tired. Wong-ha drew his sword. "Don't regret this." Hunchin also pulled out his flaming sword. The 2 of them launched their full force at each other. Back to the present. Wong-ha watched his back, the fire demon Kang Hunchin. Before regressing, he always saw himself charging into fights. He had never once defeated him. The more he fought, the stronger he got. He really was a monster born to fight. Hunchin angrily. That bastard still hasn't shown his face, just got burned a little and already scared. As he finished, a tentacle smashed and destroyed the bridge pillar where the 3 stood. It began to shake and was about to collapse. He gritted his teeth, "You son of a bitch. It's destroying the bridge pillars." Hunchin looked at Wong-ha thinking, I can't fight and protect the kids at the same time. Suddenly, at that moment, a staff slammed hard on the ground. 2 magically created bridge pillars appeared. Seeing this, Hunchin sneered coldly, "Perfect timing, Mother." Above, a helicopter flew over. Mother Park Heron's rescue team. "I told you not to call me that. I'm not that old, what mother nonsense. Honestly, you could have just come by helicopter. Who runs all the way to Seoul Sandbridge anyway?" He pointed and laughed, "As long as I reach Seoul, that's enough." Park Heron sighed, all right, you're always right. The rescue team will arrive soon. So the rescue will happen in a moment. Focus on eliminating the kraken. With her power, Hunchin will be strengthened. He was annoyed. "I don't need any strengthening." Park Heron cursed, "Shut up. You're being strengthened and still complaining." Hunchin shouted, "Fine, kids are on you then." She then turned her attention to Wong-ha and Wong-ah on the side. Park Heron frowned and responded, "Got it." The calm water surface gradually stirred. The dragon surfaced once again. It swung its terrifying tentacles. Hunchin charged forward, laughing loudly, "Finally showing your face." He ran quickly to the edge of the bridge and leapt forcefully. Hunchin fell into the sea, creating a big explosion. Beneath, a small light began to appear. It was Hunchin's fire. It burned right under the water. His face gradually surfaced above the water. Hunchin's whole body was covered in flames, slowly walking on the water. Each step he took left a small flame behind. Kraken immediately used a tentacle to rush and attack Hunchin. Looking up at the 2 tentacles above him, they wrapped around in multiple directions. Hunchin sneered disdainfully. Pathetic. He raised his sword high. "Get lost." Hunchin swung his flaming sword down hard. The fire carried an extremely high temperature. It burned Kraken's entire body. It writhed in pain, screaming miserably. Hunchin's face coldly stared at Kraken. The flames surrounding his body also faded away. Wong-ha happily said, "Finally, the Kraken is asleep." The helicopter landed. Park Heron hurried over. "Hey, are you guys okay? Don't be afraid. I'll use healing magic right away." She suddenly widened her eyes in surprise, realizing the kids had no injuries at all. Was that magic just now a miracle? Did the miracle heal the kids? Amazing witnessing a miracle park. Heron couldn't help but reach out. Wong Ha's voice turned cold. Don't. His eyes full of killing intent touched her. Park. Heron paled. Killing intent. How can a child have such strong killing intent? She couldn't hide her curiosity. Who are you? At this moment, the helicopter had flown to their location. Park Heron said, "The rescue team is here. Let's take you to the hospital first." You carried Wong Ah up, looking up. Today, at 5 p.m., a giant octopus suddenly appeared on the Seoul San Bridge, causing many casualties. The rescue has been underway for a while. The goddess government has issued a statement about this tragedy. Wong Ha sat dazed on the hospital bed, listening to the news. His face turned solemn and very sad, watching Wong Ah still unconscious on the bed. Eun Ha recalls the girl falling into a state of mana exhaustion. Because she doesn't have enough mana in her body, she will recover after taking a dose of mana, so you don't need to worry too much. A slight smile spread across his lips. It's all over now. No one died. I changed the future. Suddenly, a voice called out, startling him, "Eun Ha!" "No, Eun Ha." He turned his head to look at the caller. It was none other than Eun Ha's parents. When they saw him, they looked like they were about to cry. His face twitched and sweat broke out. "I'm doomed." Eun Ha lowered his head, not daring to face them. Eun Ha's mother spoke, "Are you hurt anywhere?" He avoided her gaze, stammering, "No, I'm not dead, no Eun Ha." "What about Eun-A?" He pointed at his sister, who was sleeping. Because of mana deficiency, she will be given medicine. Hearing this, he sighed in relief, but then became angry. "No, Eun Ha, why did you run outside and not listen to your father?" He shrank back, only able to lower his head. "Sorry, Eun Ha." He thought silently, Sorry for what? My family survived. This is the best outcome for me. When everyone survives, I don't feel guilty at all." He slowly looked up at Eun Ha, dazed, eyes wide with astonishment. In front were fearful eyes, afraid of losing him. His mother, too. Her eyes looked like they were about to cry. Eun Ha frowned, not understanding what was happening. They didn't care about the outcome. They wanted to know why he risked running toward that giant octopus. "I understand how terrifying it is to lose family. But I only did what I wanted without caring about their feelings." So he stammered, trying to say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." "I won't do it again," Eun Ha cried as he spoke. A warm hand reached out to Eun Ha's mother. Eun Ha smiled and said, "Come here." He ran into her arms and hugged her. Eun Ha's father embraced them from behind. "Don't do that again, okay? Do you know how worried your parents were?" His tears flowed non-stop. "Yes, sir. I don't need to fight monsters anymore. Now I can live like a child. Maybe that's what my parents want for me." The next morning at the hospital where his family was staying, Eun Ha's father said, giving instructions, "Eun Ha, your parents will go do the discharge paperwork for Eun-A, so wait here for us, okay?" He replied happily, "Yes, no matter what, I will wait here," Eun Ha thought. After this, my parents' trust in me has hit rock bottom. Am I really going to just sit here like this? Eun-A lay on the bed sleeping. She still hadn't woken up. He just sat by her hospital bed, putting a snack in his mouth, blushing happily. So delicious. When Eun Ha turned around, the snack was gone. Maybe it's because I used too much power, but I still crave sweets. Just then, someone handed him a cake. "Eat this, kid." He happily accepted, "Oh, thank you." Seeing Hun Qian ahead, Eun Ha froze. Surprise filled his face. He peeled the cake and said, "You don't like chocolate cookies." Hun Qian held the cake to his mouth. When Ha bit the cake, thinking, "Is he about to drop dead?" He doesn't look like he's about to die at all. He should be going crazy by now. "No, he's been crazy from the start." Hun Qian chuckled. "How old are you, kid?" He answered casually, "I'm 6 years old." He crossed his arms. "You're still little. What about your sister?" Eun Ha replied, "She's 10 years old." Hun Qian asked again, "What's her name?" He frowned suspiciously. "Why do you want to know her name?" He pointed, "She's not the little girl." The kid Yu Eun Ha was a bit cautious, but still replied, "No, Yu Eun Ha." Hun Qian made an offer. "No, Yu Eun Ha, kid, do you want to join the academy? I'll recommend you." You shivered, thinking, "That bastard. He wants to get me into the academy to turn me into a fighter to battle when I grow up. Could it be that he's raising others to fight him because he no longer has any rivals?" Hun Qian stood up and said, "Well, you're still young, so take your time thinking about it." "No, Eun Ha, I'll remember your name." Outside, Park Haran was already waiting. She spoke up. "Are you really going to leave just like that? That's definitely magic. Magic that hasn't appeared in Korea for a long time." Hun Qian pulled a paper from his ear and replied, "I don't care if it's magic or not. The question is whether it's strong enough." Park Heron angrily shouted, "You obsessed fighting fool!" He retorted, "I'm not a fool. I'm older than you. Now that you're one of the top 10 throne candidates, you should watch your words. Besides, if magic were as rare a power as you say, the world would pay attention to that kid once we announce it. If that happens, she'll never live a normal life again." "You don't want that, right?" she stammered. "That matter." Hunchin pointed. "If you understand, then stay out of it. Let's just go to the cafe for some sweets." Park Heron, imagining desserts, turned pale. "Are you crazy?" He frowned. "No, I told you to watch your words. I just want sweets because I've used some of my power." We arrived at Grandma's house a day after the giant octopus disappeared. Getting out of the car. "No." Eunha's parents said, "Mom, why are you outside?" "Mom, why are you outside? You're still not well." Grandma smiled. "I missed you all, so I came out here. I also want to see my grandchild." Looking inside the car, she noticed, "Oh dear, looks like you're all exhausted. Good sleep well, my grandchild." That night, Eunha woke up groggily. At that moment, his face still looked tired. It turned out to be Yuan Ao, Eunha's sister, sleeping right on top of him. Eunha sat up and sighed. How bad is her sleeping habit anyway? Suddenly, he noticed across from him his mother was sleeping just like Eunha, mouth twitching. "Does she have the same sleeping habit as Mom?" He gently covered Yuan Ao with a blanket. Eunha slowly stepped outside without waking them. Outside in the yard, he sat alone at the big table. Yuan too looked at his hand and thought, "My mana has increased." His eyes darkened. Is it because of my power? My power before reincarnation was crazy about this ability. The more mana I use, the stronger my physical and magical strength becomes. But just like its name, the more mana used, the easier it is to lose reason and fall into madness, lost in deep thought. But at that time, I didn't lose consciousness. It would be a supreme power if not accompanied by a penalty or causing me to lose my mind. How could I not understand the true nature of madness? Suddenly, Grandma No Eunha appeared beside him. "Why are you still awake, boy?" Surprised, when did she get here? I didn't even notice her arrival. Eunha scratched his head and replied, "I already slept a lot in the car." She smiled gently. "Really, Grandma, no." Eunha wrapped a warm cloth around him and said, "But if you want to grow up, you have to sleep more." Eunha thought, "That's Grandma for you. When my mind is lost, she's still there with me. She waits for me to talk, no matter if it's a problem, my feelings, or just a small conversation." He asked, "Why aren't you sleeping?" She smiled softly, "Because you're not sleeping either." Eunha shyly looked away, thinking, "I know. This is what I want to see my grandma." Turning into a child without realizing it, Grandma knew. Eunha spoke, "Do you want some warm milk?" He waved his hand, "No, I'm fine." Suddenly, Nu's mother, Eunha, appeared behind him with 3 cups of warm milk. "Really?" Eunha was startled. "Mom, when did you get here?" She pointed at the cup of milk. "Then who will drink it?" He took the cup of milk and obediently drank. Nu's mother, Eunha, said, "But Mom, do you know how surprised I was when I heard the phone?" Grandma Nu replied, "That's why I told you I was fine. I know the neighbors can be nosy," and she was worried. "Even so, Mom, do you know how worried I was when I heard you fainted?" He thought she slipped, but only woke up with a scratch. She recounted, "I lost consciousness." Nu's mother, Eunha, doubted lost consciousness. She explained, "Could you call it sleepwalking?" Mom was walking up the stairs but saw him. "You're not that old yet, dear. Just listen first." He kept waving his hand. "He told Mom not to come up here." Thinking back, he wasn't talking to her, but to you. Eunha fell into thought, rubbing his chin. Calling it a dream would be strange. If something happened, the whole family would follow Grandpa immediately. If that happened, she should have told us. Grandma Nu happily recalled, "But it was really miraculous, wasn't it? Mom only dreamed about it recently. He said there was a beautiful deer lonely out there, but when Mom went out, it was..." Eunha's mother, Eunha, was surprised. "Huh, a deer." Grandma Nu was confused. "Why?" She recalled, "You dreamed about it before, and Dad was left behind a deer." Grandma Nu was amazed. "Oh my God, you..." She blushed and waved her hand. "Oh no." Nu's mother hurriedly turned to him and asked, "Eunha, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Eunha stopped drinking milk and stammered, "I..." Something dark seemed behind him. followed by demons constantly screaming, "Save me! Save me, help me!" It gave Unha an extremely fearful feeling. Seeing his expression, she worried, "What's wrong, dear?" Unha instinctively looked behind himself, forcing a smile. "It's nothing. I don't know either." Grandma Nu's voice rose. "It's okay not to know." Unha turned surprised. "I'm still young, so I'll take it slow. Experience the joys and the hardships. Make lots of friends and fight with them. Study and then have fun. One day you'll know what you want. If you still don't know, just live until you know what you want." He broke into a sweat. "Is she telling me to live fully?" Mom and Grandma Nu hugged him together. She said, "That's right. Time belongs to our Unha. So Unha, you can do anything you want." "That's right, you can do it." The Nu in Unha means coming from the universe holding infinite potential. Unha blushed. "Is that the meaning of my name?" She looked at him with affectionate eyes. "I'll support you no matter what you do." Grandma Nu also said, "I'll support you too." Grandma suddenly, "Thank you," a voice called from inside. "I want milk too." They laughed happily. "Thank you. You're up already. Come here. Do you want to drink the milk Grandma already had?" She smiled brightly. "Yes, yes." Unha looked at them and smiled happily. While talking, he suddenly recalled Unha brought some flowers. "Grandma here." Grandma Nu was surprised. "Oh my, thank you. I'll put it on the shoe cabinet to show it off." He thought, putting it near the entrance means she wants to show it off to the neighbors. She doesn't know about that, right? I don't care if she knows or not. Let's just make beautiful memories with her in this life. "Grandma, thank you for raising me." The gentle image of Grandma Nu appeared in his mind on an afternoon at a house. Nu, Yunha's father's voice echoed, "Yunha, Yunha, you're going to have a sibling soon." Both of them were surprised to hear what Yunha, happily, "I'm going to have a sibling." Yunha's parents replied, "Yes, you're going to have another sibling." Suddenly, Yunha's mother looked at him and saw him trembling, so she worriedly placed her hand on his shoulder. Yunha tilted his head back and cried loudly, "Thank you, Mom." "Thank you so much. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me since I was born." "The best thing," Yunha's father shyly said, "if you say that people might think you're a dad." The whole family laughed happily. Scene changes to do, and kindergarten from afar. 3 little girls run in. Pochi is here. "Do you miss Mom?" Yunha wore dog ears and tiredly crouched down. No Eunha, the 25-year-old goddess, 7 years old. Several kids came to touch his head. "Yunha, you mean Pochi? Why are you crying?" "Don't cry, good Pochi dog." He blushed angrily, thinking, "I'm not crying, damn it." Suddenly, Minji nearby spoke. "Don't you guys see what's cute about Pochi at all? I wish we could just throw it away, that mutt." He gritted his teeth. "You jerk." Minji always took any chance to mock him. The girl snorted coldly. "Want to get scolded? Don't want me to tell the teacher." Unha remembered being caught sleeping by the teacher, which drove him crazy. Sleeping and then getting thrown into a monster cage like this again. Another little girl walked in. "Kids, my dear dad's home." While the children were distracted, he quickly sneaked out. Unha took off the ears and sighed wearily. His gaze suddenly caught a girl next to him, Dongha Jang, sitting alone reading a book. Yunha hid the ears and asked, "What are you reading?" The girl smiled and answered, "Sherlock Holmes, I've been addicted to this for a long time." He rubbed his chin, a Sherlock Holmes chronicle. Sherlock and Professor Moriarty fell down a waterfall and died. Ha Jang suddenly paled and asked again. What Yunha was startled, he accidentally revealed it. The girl lowered her face as if about to cry. "You're so mean. I haven't finished reading it yet." He forced a smile, sorry, but he will come back in the Sherlock Holmes return story. As soon as he finished, Ha Jang's tears fell. "Yunha, you're so mean." She hurriedly left. "Sorry, really sorry." Yunha left for another place, then his feet stopped. A voice caught his attention. "It's nothing." "Lost more blood again." "So unfair, damn it. Next time I'll take you down." A kid's gaze suddenly fixed on Yunha. "I'm trying to see who's the strongest in class, always showing up at the right time." Kids around were talking. Unha and Onhyu are finally going to fight each other. "Who's the strongest?" he sneered. "What are these kids watching on TV?" The kids started surrounding the two, bullying, making a move to draw the sword, pointing it at Yunha. "There can't be 2 tigers in the forest. I will end our fate here." Holding up the sword, he was speechless seriously. Two kids behind cheered for On-hyo take him down with one move. That's right, show him who's really the strongest. He laughed at these kids. One standing outside shouted loudly, "Take down Yun-ha." The girls kept clinging to him. Yun-ha thought to himself, is that what you care about? Minji cheered Un-ha. He was glad at least he still had a neighbor. The girl made a threatening gesture. You're done for Un-ha. Sigh, right, this is you. He felt a little sad. I have no one cheering for me. Un-ha suddenly noticed Ha-jang, but Ha-jang burst into tears. I hate you. Hearing that Un-ha was startled. He picked up the plastic sword. That's right, I'm alone in this world. He became scary. It's all your fault. Un-ha imagined he and On-hyo were standing in the arena. The kid rushed forward, shouting charge at the demon. He still stood calmly as On-hyo approached. Un-ha gently blocked a strike from the kid, then used great force to knock On-hyo's sword away. The sword spun around above the kid's head, who could only look up in surprise. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Un-ha quickly rushed in, running past and slashing across On-hyo's waist. At the same time, the sword spun several times before falling to the ground. Un-ha stood proudly, without looking back at his opponent, slowly sheathing the sword. On-hyuk held his stomach, trembling, thinking, no way I still could if I could use the sealed power. The kid coughed repeatedly and then collapsed. Un-ha stood proudly amid everyone's admiration, turned around and smiled. Truly an interesting fight. The kids cheered happily. He really smiled. That's so, Un-ha. See, right? He's good because he plays family games all the time. Exactly, whoever can pull out that Excalibur must be Un-ha. He looked confused, huh? In front was a toy sword stuck in a pile of building blocks. I've never seen Excalibur pulled out before. You can do it? Un-ha scratched his head. Maybe I should try it too. He stepped closer and grabbed the sword's hilt. Un-ha easily pulled it out amid the kids' cheers. Un-ha got Excalibur. Un-ha is the best. No, Un-ha, no, Un-ha. He shyly screamed inside, please stop, just stop. The scene shifted to somewhere in the park near a phone showing the news. Breaking news, a rank 7 goblin monster has appeared. The Macronier Knights are at the front line, but 2 goblins reportedly escaped the scene. According to the Mana Management Association, they are likely hiding in crowded areas. Anyone who spots them should report immediately. Outside, kids are running and playing freeze. Minji touched a happy girl, removing the tape. Un-ha sighed deeply, watching the kids play. He tiredly sat under a tree, thinking, I'm exhausted, aren't they tired? Un-ha sat cross-legged, hands clasped together because the future has changed. I need to stockpile mana whenever I get the chance. As time passes, the world will see mana as a kind of power, so it's best to have more mana. Once they know about it, since that incident, I'm sure I'll have more space to store mana. 2 kids saw him and called out, Hey, Un-ha, you're done resting, right? Come play with us. Un-ha thought to himself. Are they okay? Their endurance is scary. Just then, a teacher brought a bag of food. Kids, come get some ice cream. Everyone stopped playing and ran over. I want cantaloupe ice cream. I want watermelon. He smiled at the scene, classic kids. After a while, his whole body was sticky. Okay, anyone without ice cream, come get some. Suddenly, 2 hands grabbed the same ice cream, Un-ha and Minji. The 2 stared at each other and pulled their hands back. Minji, pig, that's mine. I got it first. Why don't you let go? I got it first. Let go. Why are you so petty even though you're a boy? Being a boy doesn't mean anything about ice cream. I watched them tiredly. The teacher snatched the ice cream and said, Hey kids, didn't I tell you? Friends don't fight. Then he broke the ice cream in half. He gave each half to them. See, it works, you can share. They ignored him and started pouting and sulking. Getting their ice cream taken away, they got angry. You all should share and not do that. Both turned pale. Yes, sir. Behind, Ha-jang approached and asked teacher, where's Un-hyut? He was startled. Un-hyut. I'm not sure. Maybe he's in the moon garden. Minji calmly said, I guess he's waving his sword around there. It's cramped. Why does he keep playing alone like that? Un-ha thought special training should be done in secret. Minji looked puzzled. Why do you want to bring him ice cream? If he wants it, he should come get it himself, she said shyly. But I think it would be sad if he's left out while we're all eating together like this. Minji shook her head. Ha-jang's only mistake is that he's too kind. I suggested, do you want to bring ice cream to Un-hyo? Ha-jang nodded, wanting to. Minji asked, want me to come with you? Ha-jang shook his head, no need. I loudly told the kids, after you eat, put the trash here. Unha frowned a little as he watched her leave. Who wants to keep playing tag? Come here. Minji stepped closer to him. You should go out there, too. Unha refused without hesitation. No need. I've played enough today, the girl reminded with a hint in her voice. Then no one will want to play with you anymore. He didn't care much. You don't have to worry about that. Go play outside. Minji huffed coldly. No, my sister told me to play with you. Unha scratched his face, thinking to himself, my sister really is something. The girl then grabbed his shirt and pulled him along. Get up and keep playing. The kids gathered to play rock, paper, scissors. Unha lost, so he stood there itching to move. Unha lost. He clenched his teeth and angrily turned toward Minji. He didn't hesitate to chase after the girl. Unha sprinted at full speed, and just as he almost caught Minji, she stopped crossing her arms and freezing. Minji stuck out her tongue teasingly, and when he wasn't paying attention, she switched direction to another friend. Suddenly, Unha ran past his friend without noticing. His friend was surprised to see him running toward Minji. The girl was distracted and suddenly looked up. Unha, as fast as a lightning bolt, ran past him. Turning his head, he smirked broadly. Unha tapped the girl on the shoulder to unfreeze her. Minji only had time to react and exclaim, You. The curly-haired boy who ran past patted her shoulder. Now you chase. Minji was now the one chasing. The boy laughed loudly as he spoke. Minji's eyes blazed with anger. No, Unha, you! She stared at him with murderous intent. You're not going to get away with this, Unha. Unha tilted his head and smirked. You think you can catch me? His eyes suddenly widened in amazement. Unha came to a complete stop. Minji ran up and touched his shoulder. No, Unha, you've been caught. Seeing his reaction, she was puzzled. Why are you just standing there, Unha? Did you just unleash deadly mana here at the daycare? Where did that surprise come from? A blue-green hand with sharp claws grabbed him. Gritting his teeth, he turned to watch nearby kids standing there stunned. Huh? What is that? On the fence appeared a monster wielding a rank 7 weapon, a monster goblin. It jumped down into the daycare. The girl with 2 braids stammered in fear. Mom, a goblin! The scary mouth opened wide, raising the weapon ready to attack. It swung its large weapon down toward the girl's face, desperately watching the goblin raise its weapon high. At that moment, it slashed horizontally at the girl. Suddenly, a timely hand shot out, launching an object. The object hit the goblin's hand hard, causing it to drop its weapon. The goblin snarled angrily, glaring at the attacker. And that person was none other than Unha. Behind, another goblin was slowly approaching him. Unha nimbly dodged and weaved. He frowned and said, These guys are really troublesome. Gripping his popsicle stick tightly, I have to kill them now and call for backup. He lowered his body's center of gravity and attacked the goblin forcefully. In the distance, Theo's footsteps were pounding rapidly. He swung a broom and hit a goblin on the head. Unha stood still. As soon as he finished speaking, he threw the broom forcefully. The broom, fast as the wind, stabbed hard into the goblin's stomach near Unha. Taking the opportunity, Theo ran forward, grabbing Unha's shirt and the girl's hand, and ran away, holding on tight to the teacher. Behind, 2 angry goblins chased Theo. He loudly asked if she was okay. She calmly replied yes. In the air, a goblin nearly caught up and was about to swing an axe down. Unha on Theo's shoulder gathered mana into his palm. A mana orb quickly formed. Don't even dream it. He threw it with great force. The mana orb hit the goblin's stomach, causing it to fly away in pain. The giant goblin's body fell right where the goblin behind was. Unha breathed a sigh of relief as he was safe. The 3 of them panicked and ran inside. When they reached Theo, he collapsed, breathing heavily from exhaustion. The principal anxiously exclaimed, Teacher Theo, are you okay? She hurriedly asked the principal, what about the other kids? She reassured them that the children had been evacuated. But did Goblin really appear here? Theo nodded. Yes, there were 2. It seems they've been here for a few days. Unha looked around cautiously. The principal said, I'll go report this right away. Unha glanced around cautiously. The principal spoke up, saying she would go report it immediately. We have to wait until the players arrive. If he suggests that, then I'll go block the door with the other teachers. Suddenly, Minji's panicked voice rang out, Teacher, I can't find Ha Jang and Ung Hyu anywhere. I heard that and immediately lost my composure. What did the teacher just see in the garden? The kids around chimed in. That's right, sir. They said they were going to get ice cream for us. His face went pale. Teacher, go save those two immediately. The principal quickly stopped him. You can't. Around them were teachers and other kids trembling non-stop. Teacher, you have to stay, he stammered. But the two kids nearby were crying, Teacher, what about those two? Please save them. They were talking without paying attention. Someone just left the room heading outside to the garden. A terrified scream echoed loudly. At this moment, Eun-hyuk was caught by a goblin. It raised its club, preparing to strike down. Ha-jang stretched both hands forward, channeling mana to stop it. The girl ran up and struck the goblin hard. The blow sent it flying, rolling several times. Ha-jang helped the boy up, worried. Eun-hyuk, are you okay? The goblin quickly stood up, growling. Ha-jang and Eun-hyuk, trembling all over, helped each other walk. The boy clenched his teeth, determined. Eun-hyuk grabbed the girl's hand with all his strength and ran. Ha-jang ran. The goblin opened its mouth wide, drooling. Watching the two run towards the playground, Ha-jang said, What should we do now? Eun-hyuk quickly comforted. The adults will come to save us. Let's hide and wait until then. The boy pointed to the metal climbing frame. Quick, climb up! Eun-hyuk quickly helped Ha-jang up. Go ahead. The growl behind made the boy turn around. At this moment, the goblin had fully caught up to both of them. Eun-hyuk urged hurriedly. Go up first, Ha-jang. The girl panicked. What about you? You have to climb up too. The boy turned around. I'll fight them until the adults arrive. Ha-jang shouted, Don't do that, climb up first. Seeing Eun-hyuk trembling with fear of the goblin, she looked confused. The boy gripped his sword tightly, eyes full of determination. Eun-hyuk recalled the scene of Hun-cheon on TV. The boy excitedly shouted, He defeated it! He's so cool, I want to be a hero like him. Eun-hyuk tightened his grip on the sword and stopped trembling. I will be strong too. The boy, pale-faced, lunged toward the weak creature. The goblin's foul mouth gnawed loudly. It opened wide, screaming fiercely and looking terrifying. The goblin charged to attack. It's okay, act like we've trained. Eun-hyuk closed his eyes and swung the sword hard. The boy's sword barely grazed and was knocked away. Eun-hyuk collapsed, sitting down scared. Taking advantage, the goblin raised its axe from behind. Ha-jang stepped forward, picked up the sword. The goblin swung its axe down hard. Eun-hyuk cried, raising both hands to block. Suddenly, some time passed with nothing happening. The boy slowly opened his eyes to look. Ha-jang curled up on the climbing frame, looking down. Ha-jang arrived just in time to save Eun-hyuk. Eun-ha praised, You did great. He turned back and smiled. You're a true man. Eun-ha sat dazed on the ground. But suddenly the goblin lunged to attack. Eun-ha! The boy shouted in panic. Be careful! A beautiful sword slash came through. The sharp blade sliced clean through its arm. The goblin's arm was cut off, flying into the air. It stared at the bleeding arm in shock. Eun-ha's eyes turned cold as he raised his sword. He used immense force to cleave the goblin in two. Its body dissolved, dropping a magic stone. The magic stone, diamond-shaped, fell to the ground. Eun-ha lightly swung his sword, wiping the blood off the blade. He tilted his head reassuringly. Now we can be at ease. Eun-hyuk sobbed, running to hug Eun-ha. You really are a hero. He tried to pull the boy away. What happened to you? Get away from me! Suddenly, Ha-jang also ran over and hugged Eun-ha tightly. Two kids hugged you crying. I was so scared. Your face turned pale as you tried to push them away. You guys were just here a moment ago, ma'am. What about those two friends? While everyone wasn't paying attention, Eun-ha sneaked outside. You took a deep breath to focus your mind. Eun-ha's eyes widened and flashed brightly. His mana radiated around to help him sense. Ha-jang is someone with a lot of mana, and Eun-hyu is okay as well. They are running away now. Eun-ha suddenly noticed a goblin. Wait a moment, I need to handle this. It's approaching the physical training room. The goblin growled as it circled around. Suddenly, your voice caught its attention. Hey, what are you looking for? In front was Eun-ha holding a paper-cutting knife, blocking its way. You wrapped mana inside the blade, sharp energy overflowing. The goblin let out a roar and charged forward. It swung sideways, but Eun-ha ducked to dodge. With the force of your foot, you stomped hard on the ground and launched yourself up like lightning. Eun-ha moved behind it. He swung the knife down forcefully. Eun-ha's strike was so strong it pierced through the goblin's chest. It angrily turned around, preparing to swing its axe. You quickly jumped high to avoid it. Once again, Eun-ha kicked the ceiling to gain momentum and launched downwards. You slashed straight down from its head to its feet like before. The goblin's body turned into dust particles and vanished. A magic stone fell in front of you. Yunha sheathed the knife, mumbling, "This one's no good anymore." "You threw it away. Anyone who dares set foot in my kindergarten will be dealt with mercilessly." Yunha quickly ran off. "Please, everyone, be safe." Yunha activated mana into Ha Jiang's eyes. "Hugh, I'm here." Right now, the two kids are still crying non-stop. You lay down, sighing, thinking whatever you want. Teacher Theo suddenly appeared. Ayun Hugh Ha Jiang, are you all okay?" "You startled Teacher Theo." Yunha looked down at the two kids still crying. Yu answered tiredly, "Yes, sir." Shortly after the players arrived at the kindergarten, someone standing opposite Unha asked if you really defeated it. You scratched your cheek. The goblins were badly injured, so after a few stabs, they disappeared. He showed the magic stone. Even a level 7 goblin isn't weak enough for a 7-year-old kid to defeat. The only way to defeat a monster is to destroy its core with a weapon enhanced by mana or an extremely powerful physical attack. He frowned. What about the goblin in the hallway? Unha made up a story that the goblin outside must have defeated that one. Those two fought, no wonder it was so badly wounded, and then you defeated it. Maybe those two aren't very close. The player guy still suspiciously said, "Yeah, probably." Scene shifts to the commendation ceremony. We, the Buku Motorbike Taxi Office, sincerely apologize to Doan Kindergarten for the recent accident they endured. From now on, we promise to do our best to protect the school and today's main characters. Thank you, No Yunha, for receiving the Brave Child Award certificate. Teachers and friends below all applauded and cheered. Remembering when your parents scolded you about the Kraken incident, wasn't that enough for you all? Write an apology letter yourself and talk it over, come on. Eunha held the certificate, trembling, feeling too embarrassed. Someone reminded Eunha to smile. You forced a weak smile. Doan Preschool Festival. Parents bringing and picking up their kids were bustling around. Long ago, there was a princess named Snow White with a fair and beautiful face. Snow White Ha Jiang. Snow White also had a warm heart, so she was dearly loved by the 7 dwarfs in the forest. The kids were deeply immersed, and Teacher Tao was standing narrating in a corner of the stage. Yunha and Yunhyu were standing waiting. The kid panicked. Captain, what should I do? I can't remember any lines." "You frowned, what's wrong?" "You only have one line, right? You shouldn't mess that up." And Heap suddenly remembered, "All right, you really are the captain who remembers everything." Unha sighed. He has changed so much since the monster incident. Remembering before, Wong Hee-uk kept calling him a warrior, but we agreed to call me the team captain instead of warrior. Wong Hee-uk pointed at me with a confident smile. "All right, I'll show the team captain how awesome DM is." Wong Ha's face went strangely blank. Returning to the stage, the witch played by Minji stepped forward and said to the princess, "Look at this red apple, doesn't it look delicious?" Ha Jiang, playing the princess, excitedly said, "It's so beautiful and it looks tasty too." The dwarves quickly stopped her. "No, princess, you shouldn't eat something from a stranger." "That's right, I'm sure that apple is poisoned." The princess said, "Don't eat it." Wong Hee-uk started trembling. The kid panicked and shouted loudly, "Exactly!" Wong Hee-uk pointed and spoke, startling the 5 friends around him. Teo, who was narrating, was also stunned by the scene before him. The surroundings suddenly fell silent for a long moment. Suddenly, the audience below burst out laughing. Unha stood inside and sighed. He acted like a robot. Minji angrily threw the apple hard. "Eat it and get away from me." The apple flew straight into Eunhyuk's mouth. The little girl shouted loudly, "Not you!" A nearby boy cried, "Eunhyuk is in trouble now." Suddenly, my voice rang out. The dwarf ate the poisoned apple instead of the princess. He waved his hand to signal, but the queen still refused to give up. The queen forced the princess to eat the remaining part of the apple. Minji's face turned pale, not knowing what to do. The little girl shoved the apple straight into Ha Jiang's mouth. "Eat it and get out of my life." Ha Jiang raised his hand, calling, "Mom!" Minji ran away, yelling, "Who's your mom? I'm your stepmother. I told you not to call me that anymore." After a moment, the girl's cheeks suddenly flushed red. Ha Jiang's head spun and he collapsed. While the others pulled Wang Hyo off the stage, Tayo patted his shoulder eagerly. Wang Ha's eyes blurred with tears. "Teacher, now I only know to trust you. Let's bet on which class will do best today." He cursed silently inside. "Damn, teacher, is it my turn now?" Unha slowly stepped outside, gradually approaching where Ha Jiang was lying. Suddenly, a voice from below made Unha freeze. "Is that him?" The kid looked scary. "Is he the one who defeated the monster?" "No way." The city even rewarded him but a child handling a monster. The monster didn't hesitate to sacrifice humans, so it's no different from an immortal player. Oh, how strange the scene in Eunha's mind became empty. Suddenly his sister Wang-ah shouted loudly, "No, Eunha!" He trembled and regained his senses. Below, Wang-a was standing with their parents waving, "Eunha, look, Mom and Dad." Eunha cheered too. "Dad's son is awesome, so handsome. Eunha, Mom's here." Hearing his family's voices, he stared blankly for a moment. Suddenly, Eunha smiled happily. "Sorry about that." His body relaxed and his legs began to move. Eunha stood straight in front of Ha Jiang, lying quietly on the flowers. Eunha took a deep breath, then exhaled. He sat down, touched the girl's forehead. "How can there be someone so beautiful in this world?" Eunha leaned down and gently placed a kiss on Ha Jiang's forehead. The girl's cheeks blushed, then slowly opened her eyes. He took Ha Jiang's hand and gently helped her sit up. Below the stands, the audience applauded non-stop for his performance. Eunha and Ha Jiang bowed together to the audience. Anhu and friends rushed out, "Cool, no! Eunha, come here." Everyone lifted Eunha up high together. He looked pale. "These guys are dangerous, I'm going to fall." Suddenly a pair of hands caught Eunha. It was his dad. "Eunha, son, you did great." He carried him on his shoulders. "Of course I'm your dad." He laughed loudly. "Right!" Mom carried the newborn to Eunha. "Are you feeling strange?" Mom smiled. "Have you found what you want to do yet?" Eunha thought. "Mom said something like that last year too. What do you want to do when you grow up?" Wang-ha's eyes darkened. "I don't know anymore. I still don't know what I should do." Looking at everyone happily playing in front of him, "But I want to be happy. I don't want anyone to ruin this happiness." So Wang-ha smiled and said, "Wow, you're holding your dad's head. Maybe you're a warrior." "Dad, put me down," Dad, Wang-ha teased, of course like a warrior wants. Mom's face softened, looking at him with satisfaction. "That's right, my Eunha, do whatever you want. Mom will cheer for her son." Time passed quickly, and Eunha had entered the class for new elementary students. We sincerely congratulate the students. On a spring day when flowers bloom in the goddess's third year at age 8, Minji stood behind and said, "Why did you do such a shameful thing?" The principal is giving a speech. He was confused. Then why do you even care? Ha Jiang stood beside, reminding, "The teachers told you to be quiet." An Hyuk excitedly said, "The boss will have many strong kids coming to study. When will we show our supreme position?" Eunha said sternly, "I'm not you, so don't act rashly." The kid immediately retorted, "You really are the boss." He worried, "Am I going to get hurt?" He was at a loss for words. It's not just about that. The teachers hoped the students would enjoy the school. Eunhu's constant nagging made him tired, already feeling exhausted. A room down the hall was a classroom. Minji stood up confidently and introduced herself. "Hello, I'm Kim Minji, living in Hyo-Daewei District. I come to study at Doan Kindergarten. Like any other kindergartner, I want to play and make lots of friends. I like watching movies and listening to music." Eunha thought to himself, "Why is she talking so much?" The teacher on the podium forced a smile. "Minji, we don't have much time, so please share more next time." It was the first year for the homeroom teacher of Class 4, Yojina. The girl sighed and sat down under the curious gazes of the classmates. Yes, I couldn't hold back. Yojina spoke next. "No, Eunha." "Come on, introduce yourself." He immediately stood up. "Yes, my name is No Eunha and I'm enrolled at Doan Kindergarten. Let's get to know each other." She smiled and asked, "Is that all, Eunha?" He nodded. "Yes." Rogina continued flipping the list. "Next is Dongha Jiang. Ha Jiang, introduce yourself." The shy girl stood up. Ha Jiang closed her eyes and tried her best, her mind spinning as she said Dongha Jiang. Eunha sat beside her, observing thoughtfully, recalling the time at Ha Jiang's house. Seo-kun spoke. "Nice to meet you all. I'm Ha Jiang's dad, and I came with the kids from the daycare to visit." "Hello, Uncle." He smiled. "Was it hard getting here? I'll make a delicious lunch for you all. Want something to drink?" He looked at Seo-kun with some suspicion. "Is this really Ha Jiang's dad? I think I've seen him somewhere before." The kids happily surrounded him. "I want mango juice, me too, Uncle. I like yogurt, Dad. I want yogurt too." He turned to him and asked, "And you?" "Un-ha." Un pointed to himself. "Sir, do you want an espresso? No banana juice." A table full of food and drinks was beautifully arranged. A kid couldn't resist and popped a piece of food into his mouth. "So delicious is this bacon." "This is good too," Minji said proudly. "Now do you understand? Ha-Jang's dad is really good at cooking." Eun-hoo looked confused. "So why are you so proud?" The girl scoffed coldly. "Because Ha-Jang is my friend." They started arguing. "Got it, idiot, I told you not to call me that." "All right, Pig Minji." Un-ha glanced at the two who kept bickering, took a sip, and thought, "What's so good that makes the kids this happy?" Just after one sip, he widened his eyes in shock. "What is this? What did I just drink? My mana is surging unbelievably. This is a mana potion." Mana potions. Energy drinks that restore mana are always carried by Monster Conquest players because mana is closely linked to their life force. Seeing his strange expression, Ha-Jang worriedly asked, "What's wrong? Is it bad?" Un-ha smiled faintly. "No, it's delicious." Ha-Jang. "What's your dad's name?" The girl was surprised. "My dad." He was standing in the kitchen mixing drinks. "His name is Seo-kun." Hearing the name, Un-ha suddenly remembered and was startled, his eyes shining. "Ha-Jang, let's be best friends." Un-ha chuckled to himself. "Dong Seo-kun, he's the one who revolutionized the mana potion market with his filtration skills. He can select the best ingredients to extract mana in the future. He will become the boss in the mana potion market for Alice Corporation, one of Korea's top 3 companies." "Wait, but I thought he didn't have a daughter." He suddenly recalled, "His daughter is alive because I saved her." Un-ha placed his hand on Ha-Jang's shoulder. "If anyone bullies you at school, just tell me. I'll protect you." Ha-Jiang blushed shyly when she heard this. "Thank you, then." Back to the present. Ha-Jiang was struggling to introduce herself, but she regained her composure. "I like Un-ha and Minji, too. We're all from Do-an Kindergarten. I like reading books and drinking tea. Although I'm shy talking to new people, let's get acquainted." Un-ha gave a thumbs up. "Well done, great job. That's my friend." Regina smiled happily. "Good job, Ha-Jiang. Next will be Jin Seona." Everyone turned toward the girl, even Un-ha was surprised. Jin Seona had a pair of cat ears on her head and a tail swinging back and forth behind her. "Are those real? Is she a monster?" A half-human, half-monster is a term for mutated kids caused by uneven mana distribution in their bodies. People who lost family members to monsters hate half-humans because they look very similar to monsters. The shy girl spoke up. "I'm Jin Seona. I don't go to kindergarten. Please befriend me." Whispering started around. "My mom told me not to go near her." "Why is that?" "I don't know, just told not to play with her." He thought to himself, "Seems like there are a lot of prejudices about half-humans." Regina was about to continue reading when Un-hyo stood up straight and greeted, "I'm Choi Un-hyo. I like swinging swords and I'm learning mana control from the boss." A boy asked curiously, "Who is the boss?" The kid put on a mysterious air. "You guys don't know the boss." Hugh pointed towards Un-ha. "Un-ha, the one sitting over there is the boss, the strongest in our class, the boss. So if you think about fighting the boss is super strong. Hail the boss. The boss is number 1. She quickly stopped Un-hyo. "Hey, can you sit down?" Georgina's face suddenly turned angry. "Also, Un-ha, stay after class and bring your parents to meet her." He sat crying. "I didn't do anything wrong." Un-ha sat in a corner sighing. What a curse. Un-hyo's voice kept echoing. "The boss is number 1, the boss is number 1. Georgina got angry. "Take Un-ha to the teacher's room." He gritted his teeth. "From now on, Un-hyo, you have to endure hellish training at the canteen." Un-ha spoke up. "This is the 3rd time the lady serving food will remember your face." Un-hyo gasped. "How did you know that? She even remembers my name already." Minji stood up and said loudly, "Un-ha, do you want to get some more? I was planning to ask for a little more too." Unha then gave a wicked smile. Yeah, go get more food, you greedy pig. The girl got angry and shouted, I'm not a greedy pig. I just took less food than usual earlier. Ha Jiang spoke up to diffuse. That's right. Unha, this time you're wrong. He sneered, and as the two were bickering, they suddenly stopped. Look, isn't that her? Amazing, she really has a tail. Why would someone like that be in our school? Hey, be careful not to make eye contact. Jin Siona carried her food tray looking around for a seat. She suddenly noticed an empty spot at a table where three rather arrogant girls were sitting. Jin Siona stammered, Can I sit here? Jin Siona gave a cold smile. No, you can't. Unha sighed. Of all people, she asked. Jin Siona looked down on him. Got a problem. Are you crazy? Jin Siona was confused. What? Who do you think you are to sit with us? The two girls at the table also sneered. Where do you think this is? You need to check your place and your clothes, too. Where did you get those clothes? You should have stayed in your temple. The girl trembled but tried to say, I'm sorry. Minji angrily shouted at Jin Siona, You really are mean. Ha Jiang started crying, She's too mean. Ha Jiang began to cry, She's really mean. Seeing Unha's unhappy face made Unhyu worried and called the elder brother. The kids around kept laughing and mocking, Look, she's crying. Remembering her past life, not all half-humans are good people. You think that the poorer someone is, and the more the community shuns them, the kinder their heart is. Right. Unha. What if I ask again? Jin Parang said, sitting opposite, but he was wrong. Of course, there are truly good people. Yes, there are kind children. On the other hand, there are more bad ones. What if I ask once more? What if I confuse him? What does that mean? What I mean is you shouldn't treat them better just because they are half-humans. It seems lately you've been taking care of the half-humans because of me. Unha interrupted. Stop it right there, Jin Parang. Why do you think I'm a good person? He replied. I didn't mean that. Unha drew his sword, making Jin Parang startled. So you think I'm a weakling who can't tell right from wrong? He leaned back in fear. That's not what I meant either. Why are you suddenly so tense? Unha said coldly. That's because you snuck into my tent at midnight and disturbed my sleep with nonsense stories. Get out and go stand guard or something if you don't want to get beaten. He bristled all over, all right. The dungeon of the abyss. Jin Parang just defeated a monster. Those monsters are pretty strong. Definitely monsters from the abyss. His eyes widened and quickly turned around. Jin Parang was suddenly struck by an object. Not quick enough, his abdomen was seriously injured. The thing that attacked Jin Parang was a sharp leg. Ahead is a monster shaped like a giant scorpion. Seeing that he was still alive, it immediately continued to attack. From afar, a foot quickly rushed over. It was Wong Ha. He swung his sword and cut the monster's leg in half. Wong Ha's eyes were filled with a sharp aura radiating all around. The monster, having one leg cut off painfully, retreated backward. It angrily roared loudly and charged to attack Wong Ha. Struggling, he leaned to avoid it. His hands tightly gripped the sword. Countless sword cuts appeared on the monster's body. Wong Ha flew across its body, launching multiple attacks at once. At this moment, the monster's entire body was split into many pieces. He hurriedly ran to Jin Parang, calling out loudly. Parang! Wong Ha lifted his exhausted body up. Jin Parang urged, Hurry up, Wong Ha. You've already gotten this far. You still have to face the worm. From afar, Do Dung ran up to Parang. Wong Ha's voice turned cold. Do Dung, heal him quickly. He almost shouted, Wong Ha, you forgot the rules already. I understand my wounds best, don't I? The reason I might die, the reason we fight, is so we can defeat the boss here and bring happiness and peace to our homeland. So what are you hesitating for? Wong Ha gritted his teeth. All right. Do you have any last words, he repeated. That sounds more like you. Do you remember what I said before? Half-breeds aren't all good people. What I mean is you shouldn't treat them better just because they are half-breeds. He nodded, I remember. Jin Parang trembled because I'm not much different from them. Actually, I'm a very bad person. As soon as he finished speaking, his body stopped moving. Wong Ha looked at the blood on his hand and trembled. Jin Parang returned to the present and clenched his fist. Why am I remembering that now? Wong Ha stood up and said, Minji, what are you surprised about? He turned and left. Sorry, I'll be back soon. The girl held her forehead knowing he would do that. Unhyuk called out. Do you want me to come with you, boss? Wong Ha calmly said, Just sit there and eat. What's wrong with him? What is he trying to do? It's ridiculous. Jin Siona was standing with her head down when his hand reached out. He took the food tray and led the girl away. There's a place over there. Come on, Jin Siona was startled and speechless. The girl grabbed Uong Ha's sleeve. Hey, be careful. Giseleona was startled. Sorry. He smiled faintly. It's okay. Come on, my friend has already saved a spot for you. The girl stammered. Sorry, but things will be harder if you help me. Uong Ha said coldly, I don't care. Someone asked them, which kindergarten are you from? The two girls answered, Duin Kindergarten. Should I ask other schools about them? Jin Sina laughed coldly. No need to do that. Because judging from their actions, they're just lower-class people. Minji pointed and greeted, No, Yun Ha is quite stubborn, so please forgive him. You're furious, Minji, you little brat. Yun Hyuk greeted while eating, Hello, the food's really good today. Jin Siona greeted gently. A glass of barley tea was brought over. Ha Jang suggested, Let's be friends. The girl accepted and said thank you. The four of them looked at Jin Siona together. It's really good, but it's hot, so drink slowly. The girl carefully held the glass with both hands. Jin Siona drank the entire glass in one gulp. The girl kept scooping food into her mouth continuously. Wong Ha said, Eat slowly. Seeing Jin Siona cry, Un Hyuk said, Don't worry, they won't eat your food. Minji and Ha Jang also said, Don't cry. Are you crying? Here's a tissue, use it to wipe your tears. Scene shifts to the playground outside. Wong Ha said, I'll go first. From now on, you all have to hide your mana to stay concealed, or use mana to boost your physical strength to confuse me and run away. Then I can't catch you guys. Jin Siona raised her hand and said, I don't know how to control mana. You immediately replied, but you know how to hide, so you'll be able to play right. Minji next to her gave a thumbs up. That's right, defeat him. The girl forced a smile, impossible. Eung Ha thought silently that she didn't know how to use that unique skill, the psychic ability. I'll teach her later. Then you spoke and don't hide inside the house, you can only play in this area. Eung Ha covered his face with the lamppost. I'll start counting to 100, 98, 97, 96, 32, 1. When he reached 1, Eung Ha slowly opened his eyes. He cracked his knuckles and said loudly, I'm coming to find you. Eung Ha quickly caught 3 people. Got you. Got you. He rubbed his chin, calculating now only Ha Jang and Siona left. I can't feel Ha Jang at all. Ha Jang controls mana so well. Let's find Siona first. Un Ha sensed it and quickly rushed off. You ran behind a bush and found her. Jin Siona quickly ran away. Un Ha saw it and ran after her. Jin Siona stopped. You reached out your hand, almost touching the girl. Suddenly, Jin Siona jumped strongly onto the roof ridge. She landed on a tin roof. No way. I won't lose until you catch me. The 3 caught looked at the 2 others. The chaser shouted, Really? Onhu laughed coldly. We were just detected, not caught? Minji slammed her hands. How dare you trick me, little mouse? Let's run! Unha was excited. Okay, I want to play again too. I'll run faster if I use mana. Seeing the 3 running away, Unha panicked. You held your head and shouted, What is this? How did it end up like this? Eung-ha used mana to chase. Eung-hyo, I'll catch all of you. Stop right there! Jin Shona smiled happily at the scene before her. Earlier, a small pair of feet stepped into a house. It was none other than Ha Jang. Where should I hide? Eung-hae's voice rang out loudly, I'm coming to find you. The girl gathered her strength. I have to throw mana back first. Mana around Ha Jang's body was all thrown back into her palm. Can't hide inside, better go outside again. Suddenly, a stack of books on the stairs attracted her. Ha Jang saw it and eagerly stepped up. Before her was a room full of books. Ha Jang went deeper inside, looking around. She picked up a book happily. This is truly heaven. So many books. Ha Jang realized, but where is this? I should go outside. A red book caught her attention. So pretty. How do I read this? Suddenly a voice answered Alice in Wonderland. Don't know since when. Behind Ha Jang stood an old man. His eyes coldly looked at her. Ha Jang looked up fearfully. After a while, Ha's group approached him. Let's see. Alice turned back to chase the rabbit. You angrily raised your voice at Ha Jang. The girl sitting on his lap reading was startled. Ha stepped forwards to greet hello. This girl disappeared while playing with us, so I came to pick her up. Ha Jang jumped down. You should have told me where you were going, I forgot. The other 4 whispered. My little brother is so cool. Is he angry? Captain, don't be angry. When Ha became furious, forgot. The girl trembled. Sorry. You flicked Ha Jang on the forehead. Wrong, Ha Jang. Next time, wherever you go, you have to tell me first. Got it. The girl teared up. Yeah, sorry. Ha thought she would cry if he added more. turning to run shyly. Sorry for bothering you. He smiled. It's okay. You make me less bored. Come play again next time. I like friends who love reading. Ha Jang was happy. Really? He patted her head. Ha Jang excitedly said she will come again tomorrow. Tomorrow read this whole book. Uncle Unha grabbed the girl's hand and said, let's go home, it's late. Run Sheech spoke up to stop him, making Unha hesitate. Wait, Nee. He raised his phone and suggested that we should take the kids home. Outside, a luxury car arrived. A bodyguard in black with a gun opened the door for the kids to get in. Anyone who wants to go home, get in the car. He was amazed. Who is this old man? Wang Hyuk exclaimed, the car is so fancy and smooth. Wang Ha was startled. Hey, this is an expensive car. Get in. Run Sheech immediately ordered, let's go. Wang Ha, Wang A, and Minji stood watching them leave. He said he's never been in that kind of car before. Unha silently cried inside, feeling very jealous. Outside the school, the rain kept falling. Unha sat dazed, staring out the window. Suddenly, the teacher's voice startled him. All right, then, I will write Unha's name down as a candidate. On the board was the phrase, Class President Election for 4th grade. What? Seeing the name No Unha on the board made him jump. Una raised her hand to speak. Teacher, why did you write my name? Minji next to her spoke up. What do you mean? Someone said you want to be class president, but you looked confused and pointed at yourself. Who? The girl pointed toward Wang Hyuk. Who else? Looking at the kid's face full of admiration. He immediately frowned. Wang Hyuk waved his hand and laughed loudly, calling out, Big bro. Wang Ha gritted his teeth. Wang Hyuk, you will pay for this. The kid continued. Big bro is the only one worthy of being class president. But before that, Wang Ha raised his hand to speak. Teacher, I don't want to be Regina. Wang Hyo nominated me. You shouldn't disappoint your friends, right? He replied. I'm not strong enough to be class president. The teacher frowned. What do you mean you are capable of doing it? Wang Ha turned to Minji and shouted. Minji, you should have told me earlier. The girl laughed and turned away. I did tell you, but you kept sulking, Jojina quickly reassured. All right, the only candidate right now is Wang Ha. Anyone else want to join? Jin Sena immediately raised her hand. Teacher Wang Ha also noticed the girl. Jin Sena turned her head and smirked. I want to nominate myself. Wang Ha frowned at her expression. The next day, big boxes of snacks were brought to the class. Jin Sena spoke up. My dad bought these, everyone eat up. The kids saw it and rushed over. Sena really is the best. Hamburger. Today's lunch is hamburgers. 2 of her friends went around handing them out to everyone. Sena said if she becomes class president, she will treat us to hamburgers once a month. Choose Sena. Wang Ha's group stood aside watching. A hamburger was handed to him. Hey. Wang Ha stood with his hands in his pockets looking at John Sena without saying anything. The girl smirked, thanking him for his vote. He snorted coldly, annoyed. I'm not eating it. Then Wang Ha turned and walked away without hesitation. Jin Sena said, everyone, if I become class president, he sighed. So young and already this skilled. Suddenly a familiar voice caught Wang Ha's attention. It was Wang Hyo holding a hamburger with shining eyes. The kid tried to insist and handed it back to him. Eat it. Minji and Ha Jang both refused. I'm not going to eat it. No way, I'm not eating either. He stood aside observing and exclaimed, You two frowning? Wang Ha frowned, thinking, all right, then I'll try. Scene shifts to nature, mountains, and green trees. Doan Elementary School spring field trip. Jogina called out loudly, Kids roll call. When I call your name, raise your hand. She looked at Wang Ha and Jin Sena, class president and vice president, helping her. 4th grade class 4-1 class president Jin Sena. The girl smiled smugly. Yes, class 4-1 vice president. No, Wang Ha gritted his teeth, bitter. Yes. After a while, Jogina finished roll call. She led the kids up to a temple at the top and stopped for a visit. After walking for a while tired, they began to spread out blankets and sit down for lunch. Unha opened the lunch box, which was a bit jumbled from walking a lot. A surprised girl looked at Unha's lunch. Hey, that looks delicious. He blushed, thinking silently. When did I write this? Minji came over teasingly. Your sister really loves you, huh? Unha's face turned red as he quietly ignored it. What about yours? He opened it to find Japanese-style dishes inside. Someone noticed Ha Jang. Ha Jang, your lunch looks so pretty. A nutritious lunchbox beautifully decorated. Unha rubbed his chin. That's Ha Jang for you. Then Hugh suddenly shouted, When you go sightseeing, you have to eat cup noodles. He and Minji looked at him blankly. You didn't bring any food other than cup noodles. The kid pulled out a cup noodle jar. Yeah, my mom said cup noodles are the best. The two looked at Hugh with pitiful expressions. So your mom can't be bothered to cook for you, huh? He patted the kid on the shoulder. Ah, you have a point. Unha thought to himself, from now on I'll cut back on training. The scene shifted to somewhere in the forest. There was a young man in black running away. He cursed while running. Damn, what the hell is this? While running, he tripped over a branch. Why are there monsters here? The young man in black fell to the ground, covered in dirt. He painfully tried to crawl slowly. Suddenly, a foot appeared in front of him, filling him with despair. In front of him were two level 7 hunting dog monsters. The young man in black backed away in fear, shouting loudly, "Help!" Suddenly behind him was a level 6 hellhound monster. He looked desperately as the pack of dogs lunged at him. A piercing scream echoed throughout the forest. The hunting dogs continuously bit and tore into the young man's body. One of them suddenly stopped. Just as it stopped, a surge of electricity ran through the two hunting dogs, causing them pain. They backed away fearfully. The hellhound commanded the hunting dogs, and they obeyed immediately. It opened its foul, sharp mouth wide. The hellhound raised its head and howled once toward the south. Meanwhile, Unha's whole class was still happily unaware of anything. Hyuk excitedly said, "All right, count to 3 and then open them." 1, 2. Unha didn't pay much attention, thinking, good thing I have clothes to change into. After Hyut counted to 3, everyone simultaneously held out the paper in their hands. Hyut looked disappointed at the results and said, I didn't get anything. Jin Seona stood aside with a gloomy face and replied, Me neither. Seeing that Unha comforted, give up. Hyut said loudly, No way, bro, I have to find the treasure. He replied, Are you a pirate or something? Turning to Minji's side, she clenched the paper with fiery determination. No way, I'm going deeper. Hyuk regained his spirit and replied, All right, let's go. Unha looked at Minji thoughtfully. You too. Minji, Goofy, and Ha Jang overheard the 4-person conversation and said, I'm coming too. Jin Seona answered, Yeah, I'm fine with that. Unha walked away coldly. I'm not very happy to know you guys. Minji, seeing him about to leave, grabbed him back, saying, Where are you going? Making Unha curse silently. A moment later, the 5 of them moved deeper into the mountain together. Unha walked while feeling down, thinking, I want to go home. This isn't a picnic. This is mountain climbing. Why did we have to come to Bukhansan Mountain? Bukhansan Mountain is much closer, but not this far. Beyond this mountain is Uijeongbu District. While moving, a scream came from behind, causing the group to stop. Jin Seona asked worriedly, What's going on? Young Ha Jiang also said, Is something wrong? Unha, with a serious face, raised his hand and said, Everyone be quiet. A large figure rushed from afar. It burst out of the bushes and stood in front of everyone. Minji pointed fearfully at the creature and said, What is that? Her trembling hand continuously pointed at the hunting dog. The image of a large hunting dog slowly appeared before everyone. Unha gritted his teeth, thinking, Damn, today's accident at Bukhansan Mountain was supposed to be well protected. But for some reason the monsters in Uijeongbu District managed to break through the barrier and are heading south. This is a serious accident with many casualties. The hunting dog fixed its predatory gaze on everyone. Seeing its bloodthirsty face, Minji instinctively stepped back in fear. Seizing the opportunity, it jumped toward her. It rushed forward to attack Minji. She, scared, kept retreating. Suddenly, Minji lost her balance and fell backward. The hunting dog immediately lunged forward, baring its teeth ready to attack her. Minji closed her eyes in fear and screamed loudly. At that moment, a figure behind her rushed forward. Unha kicked hard into the side of the hunting dog, causing it to be thrown back. The hunting dog was slammed heavily onto the ground. Unha didn't let it get up. He immediately rushed above it, his face full of killing intent, holding a fork. He infused magic into the fork and stabbed it hard into the dog's head. Then a bloody scene followed. Unha repeatedly stabbed the hunting dog with the fork. This scene made the other 4 look at him in fear. After killing the hunting dog, he threw the deformed fork aside and used magic to burn the dog's body. After checking and handling everything, Unha said behind him, Are you okay? Minji was still scared by the scene and stammered in reply, Yeah, I'm fine. Wang He-ut looked at him and asked, Big brother, we're the ones who should be asking you that. Unha responded, What? Wang He-ut continued, I don't know how to say this, but that's not the big brother I know. Unha wiped the blood off his face and said, I'm fine, just a little worried. He thought to himself, Wang He-ut was right. When I killed the monster, I was like a zombie, a player controlling a monster and madly killing them. Looking at his bloodied hands, he thought, I've shown them a side they shouldn't see. Suddenly, countless screams snapped him out of his thoughts. Wang Hu turned to ask Wang Ha, Big brother, what should we do now? Minji quickly replied, What do you mean run away, of course? Wang Ha thought about it and agreed that running was the best option. He analyzed that hunting dogs move in packs. They are pouring down in large numbers from the mountaintop. I probably won't be able to save everyone. There's only one way. Unha said seriously to the kids, Everyone listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Cut to a location somewhere in the mountains. A hand carefully placed a cloth on a stone, saying, I'll rest here. Jin Senna took out her phone, pressed some buttons, and said to the others, You guys go look for the treasure. The other three replied in unison, Us. The chubby girl awkwardly responded, No way. The boy with glasses scratched his head and said, Can we rest together? Jin Senna glanced at the three with annoyance. Immediately the three turned and continued searching for treasure. The blue-haired girl said, It's nothing, we're heading off now. The chubby girl quickly said, You sit down and rest. Senna saw the three continuing to diligently search for treasure. Jin Senna kept tapping on her phone. Suddenly she heard the three shouting. She looked annoyed towards the shouting. Jin Senna saw the three with scared faces running headlong down the mountain, screaming non-stop. Her face darkened as she looked annoyed at the three. What's going on? Immediately she saw a pack of hunting dogs madly running toward her. Jin Senna panicked, thinking it was a monster. Before she could react, all three of them ran past and left her still sitting there. A hunting dog saw Jin Senna motionless and immediately lunged to attack her. Terrified, she shouted loudly, Is anyone there? Jin Senna's eyes were wet and full of despair, crying out for help. Jin Senna closed her eyes, tears unconsciously streaming from the corners of her eyes. At that moment, a bullet flew in and struck the hunting dog's belly. The hunting dog took the bullet, then collapsed on the ground, trembling. A voice spoke up. Huh, is that you? Jin Senna heard the voice and looked up. Before her was Unha holding a sword in one hand and a gun in the other, stepping closer. Seeing she didn't respond, he continued, If you don't want to get hurt, come down the mountain. Jin Senna, still stunned, replied, Huh, Unha calmly said, You handle the rest. In front of him were still two hunting dogs growling at the two of them. Unha was about to walk away when Jin Senna grabbed his sleeve and shouted, Where are you going? You have to protect me! Seeing no reaction, she put on a pitiful look to appeal to him. Unha gave her a scary look and said, Don't hold me back, get lost. Unha's face darkened and a cold voice came from his mouth. From now on, listen to me. All of you run down to the foot of the mountain. If you meet any adults, tell them to call the players. Hearing this, young Wang He-ut, standing nearby, whispered curiously, Big brother, aren't you coming with us? Immediately, Wang Ha didn't hesitate to reply, I'll stay to find the other kids. The kid quickly interrupted, Then I'll go with you. I've already trained my mana, I can help. But before he could finish, Wang Ha sternly spoke to Wang He-ut. His eyes became fierce and his threatening tone warned Wang He-ut, Stop joking around and focus on surviving. Seeing this, Wang He-ut's face froze and he stammered, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. The kid in front of him pointed towards them and said, The four of you will form a team, and always remember, this hunting dogs have an excellent sense of smell. You must suppress your mana as much as possible. You can do it, right? They quickly nodded. Meanwhile, Unha went alone into the forest. At that moment, he threw food from the box around, thinking that the small amount of mana in Ha-Jang's father's food made the hunting dogs very sensitive to the scent of mana. He planned to use this to mislead them. Suddenly he whispered, Now I'll use mana to check their current location. Instantly a blue light surrounded him, radiating in all directions. Unha closed his eyes tightly. The light above him revealed the positions of everyone. His mind told himself, All right, I can buy some time for the kids to escape. In the blink of an eye, he darted swiftly from one side to the other. Suddenly, Unha looked up at the sky as a black aura gradually approached. Seeing this, he was surprised and exclaimed, Good heavens, these guys really can't be messed with. Suddenly, he noticed a water bottle stuffed on the side of his backpack. An idea sparked in his mind. Now I only have half the mana I had before the regression. I still have citrus tea here, but it's better to save it for later. Suddenly, a loud roar erupted from the black aura, startling Unha. The hunting dogs were now clutching bodies and feasting. Amid their greedy growls, a voice cried out, "Help me!" A man with tear-filled eyes looked at the hunting dogs, baring their teeth at him, screaming in fear, "Help me! Help me!" Immediately, the man cried out in pain, though his body was cruelly attacked. The hunting dog quickly licked its bloodied mouth, but didn't stop. They continued tearing apart the remaining bodies ferociously. Suddenly, one hunting dog in the pack froze. Instantly, Wong Ha grabbed his weapon and charged at them, attacking decisively. At that moment, one hunting dog collapsed. This made the others quickly retreat and avoid him. Suddenly, he turned to look at the man's body who had screamed earlier, causing the nearby hunting dogs to cower slightly. He observed the man in front of him. Unha noticed the small, glowing sword hanging at the other man's side. He thought to himself, just as he expected, there would be a weapon brought along. If he were a player, he wouldn't hesitate and reached out to grab the sword. A voice echoed in his mind. "I can't use a long sword because it's too heavy, so this one will be enough." Holding the item in his hand, Unha closely examined it, but silently assessed that this sword fragment was saturated with mana. With this, even without using mana, he could still defeat these bastards. Immediately, he pointed the sword at the hunting dogs, repeatedly beckoning them with his fingers in a taunting tone. Provoked, the dogs charged in eagerly. Seeing their smugness, they couldn't help but howl. A large hunting dog quickly lunged toward Unha. His eyes shifted down to its belly. Without hesitation, Unha firmly gripped the sword, intending to strike there. A sharp clashing sound rang out decisively. The sword stabbed powerfully into the hunting dog's belly, but didn't stop there. The other hunting dogs also attacked aggressively. Suddenly, Unha's gaze turned fierce as he glanced at them. Instantly, he moved fast, slashing the sword through the hunting dogs, causing them to howl in pain. Unexpectedly, one came from behind Unha. Fortunately, he reacted in time, quickly ducking down so the attack hit only empty air. Quickly, Wong Ha thrust his sword hard into the hunting dog's body. Without delay, he pulled out the weapon, worsening the wound. Not stopping there, the other hunting dogs looked at him with hungry, fierce eyes and charged. Suddenly, a beam of light emitted from Wong Ha's hand resting on the ground. Immediately, a strong force propelled his entire body as if he was flying into the air. Wong Ha showed no fear. His eyes fixed on the bewildered hunting dog staring at him. He soared into the sky. At that moment, he placed his hand on the sword and a powerful energy quickly radiated out. In the blink of an eye, he directed that energy toward the ground where the hunting dogs had gathered. Suddenly, a whizzing sound passed by. The power shot out countless beams resembling shooting stars aimed at the hunting dogs. Before long, they began howling continuously as the beams attacked them. Their terrifying faces quickly twisted in pain wounds, appearing as they howled even louder. Wong Ha then gradually landed, but wasn't done yet. He swiftly dashed past the pack of hunting dogs. Following him was a large streak of light that made them shrink back. That light even bent into a fold. In no time, a star-shaped formation quickly appeared among the hunting dogs. Meanwhile, Wong Ha quickly ran far away. In a flash, a loud explosion erupted, throwing the hunting dogs everywhere. At this moment, the space seemed to return to silence. Sina stood trembling in front of the burning hunting dogs. The girl's face showed fear at the scene before her. Suddenly, a voice called out from afar, "Is that you?" Wong Ha stepped closer, still holding the gun and sword from earlier. He softly added, "If you want to live, run down the mountain quickly." Sina, sitting trembling on a rock, looked at him, but Wong Ha turned his head away toward the distance. A voice echoed, "I've done my part, so now it's your turn." Suddenly, the hunting dogs from afar still watched this side with anger. Wong Ha turned and left. But Sana quickly grabbed his arm, shouting loudly, "Where are you going?" "You have to protect me." The girl's eyes were still wet with tears, her face commanding Wong Ha, yet he barely cared. His eyes darkened coldly, saying, "Don't bother me anymore," then vanished. Hearing this, Senna's trembling hand withdrew. He even threatened, "They're coming soon. The uncle you brought is in critical condition. You should heal him quickly." After saying this, Wong Ha spoke his last words and quickly ran off. "I'm leaving." Suddenly, Senna softly said, "I want..." Her eyes darkened, showing Wong Ha's retreating back. "I want to go with him." Meanwhile, Wong Ha still pushed forward in large strides. His whole body emitted a cold aura toward the darkness ahead. He quickly dashed through, but a black energy appeared to block him. Undeterred, Wang Ha smiled smugly. Found you. Just then, beneath the ground were numerous hunting dogs. Leading them was a huge creature, a level 6 monster, the Hellhound. As soon as it saw him, the Hellhound growled fiercely. Black aura surrounded it. In a blink, that aura spread to encircle him. Suddenly, within the black killing aura appeared a light along with a sound from Wang Ha's mouth, whether marked or not. Before finishing, his eyes became terrifying, proudly continuing, "Well, you're doomed, dog." Quickly, beams of light continuously shot down to the ground. The Hellhound seemed to sense danger and jumped backward. Instantly, the beams attacked the hunting dogs, causing them pain as they howled. Wang Ha landed his sinister smile, glancing at the Hellhound moving above. He stood up, observing the huge dog on the hill. Immediately, it let out an angry roar. Moments later, the surviving hunting dogs charged at his back. Just in time to react, Wang Ha quickly dodged to the side to avoid the hound's strike. He immediately stabbed strongly with his sword at them. Wang Ha pulled out the bloodied sword and held his gun forward. He continuously fired fiercely at the hound in front of him. Missed. Wang Ha turned around. Suddenly, a pack of hounds rushed at him as if to devour their prey. Wang Ha's eyes were equally fierce, gritting his teeth in frustration as he gripped his sword to attack. He ran past, quickly swinging his sword to stab them. At the same time, the hounds under attack howled in pain wildly. At that moment, a flame burst forth, burning them. Seeing that, Wang Ha stopped. He looked up toward the Hellhound above. Around him were fierce hounds still lurking. Wang Ha lightly raised his gun to his mouth and murmured, "Really?" Meanwhile, the 4 children were running down the mountain. Suddenly, they remembered Wang Ha's instructions. "Do you understand what you need to do? The hound is a very strong monster. You all must suppress your mana as much as possible. You can do it right." Along with that came everyone's response, "Yes." Suddenly, they stopped in confusion. Right before them appeared forks in the path, making them hesitate. Wang Ha unusually whispered, "Ha Jiang, where do we go now?" They heard Ha Jiang's voice, but she had not replied yet. The girl was still panting heavily, but silently thought, "So tired, but I have to keep going." Wang Ha's words echoed in her mind. "Ha Jiang Dung, Ha Jiang Jin Seona, 2 of you will lead the way. Ha Jiang will be the main guide because of her keen senses. Seona will support you all." Following Ha Jiang suddenly, Ha Jiang's eyes emitted a ray of light. In her heart, she told herself she had to succeed. In the blink of an eye, a black aura spread from one side. Ha Jiang saw this and quietly said, "Something's wrong on the left." At this moment, Seona suddenly recalled Wang Ha's words. Seona's senses are very good, so if there are monsters nearby, he will sense them. Hearing this, Seona seemed to agree with Ha Jiang and replied, "Yeah, the sound from the left doesn't sound good." Just as she finished, Minji beside her spoke up, "All right, even though we're tired, we have to keep running." After saying that, the 4 continued moving in the other direction. Suddenly, a thought popped up. Why does Wang Hio's face look so tired now? Wondering, he exclaimed, Why aren't there any players?" Suddenly, a fierce sound rang out, making the boy quickly turn his head toward where it came from. Quickly, another small hand firmly grabbed Wang Hio's hand. Minji shouted loudly to the boy, "Don't look back, run!" At this moment, Minji also recalled the earlier conversation and made sure the others didn't do anything reckless. Minji curiously whispered, "Is it over?" Unha quickly patted her head teasingly. "Silly Minji." Minji heard that and annoyedly scolded, "You." Then he quietly replied, "Yeah, it's over." Ending the memory. Minji was still tired as she ran. His face looked quite annoyed as he clicked his tongue. Suddenly, something appeared ahead of them, emanating a terrifying black aura. Ha Jiang immediately spoke up, "Wait, there's something in front of us." The 4 stood frozen before the black aura emitting growls. Suddenly, a hairy paw stepped out. On its back were large horns. Minji looked at the monster before her, almost panicking. She quietly let out a cry. In the blink of an eye, a huge hound appeared. It fiercely opened its mouth and howled loudly, "Hound, hound!" continuously roaring at the sky as if calling someone. Seeing its unusual behavior, Wang Hio quietly asked, "What is it doing?" Minji beside him with a fearful face replied, "Look." Immediately from afar, the hounds all started approaching them. On this side, too, no exception. It seemed they were already surrounded by howling hounds. They kept advancing closer to the 4 kids. Yoon Hyuk's worried face watched everything, trying to find a way out. Suddenly, the boy remembered what Unha had said. "For Eun Hyuk, you are the only one who can protect everyone. You are the strongest, so you will be the main damage dealer. You have to fight the monsters along the way." As soon as Unha finished speaking, he slapped hands with Unha, his voice firm. All right. At that moment, Unha was holding a long sword in his hand. In his mind, he quietly thought, my big brother can do this right. Quickly, another scene appeared in his mind. Unha was standing next to supervise the boy's training. He loudly reminded him, don't close your eyes, hurry up. Meanwhile, Eunhyuk kept counting 567, 568. Breaking free from the memory in front of Eunhyuk were countless hunting dogs charging. Without hesitation, he quickly grabbed the sword to attack. Just one strike made a hunting dog yelp in pain. In a moment, it lost balance and fell down. Eunhyuk was thrilled by his action. I did it. Minji behind him heard that and shouted loudly, what do you mean, you idiot? But not long after, the hunting dogs growled continuously again. They quickly rushed toward Eunhyuk. The boy didn't hold back at this point. Holding the sword, he planned to attack again. In the blink of an eye, several hunting dogs got hit and howled in pain. But unfortunately, a scratch from a hunting dog cut into Eunhyuk's back. This startled the boy, who let out a quiet cry. Immediately, the pack of hunting dogs rushed in fiercely. They darted past Eunhyuk and quickly snatched the sword away. At the same time, they used their sharp claws to scratch the boy's body. The other three saw Eunhyuk in pain and grew worried. Minji quietly said, Eunhyuk Siona. With a horrified face, she whispered to herself, those monsters are toying with Eunhyuk. But the boy stubbornly continued facing the hunting dogs. I won't give up because I am. Before he could finish, the hunting dogs started charging. Eunhyuk quickly clenched his fist, radiating power, gritting his teeth to prepare a strike. At that moment, a hunting dog reached out right in front of Eunhyuk. Immediately, the boy released the remaining words stuck in his throat. The group's main damage dealer. Quickly, he delivered a strong punch straight at the hunting dog. This sent it flying, its teeth broken, looking pitiful. Eunhyuk suddenly froze. Looking at his hand, he thought silently, what did I just do? Suddenly, a hunting dog quickly charged. But Eunhyuk was still lost in thought. It felt like the big brother's move from earlier. The dog attacked decisively, and Eunhyuk couldn't react in time, getting thrown immediately. The other three, seeing the boy flying far away, panicked and shouted, Eunhyuk, Eunhyuk! At this moment in pain, he placed his hand on the wound and tried to sit up. But in a blink, a hunting dog approached, stepping on Eunhyuk's body and clawing him. It was fierce, its grimy face like it wanted to devour the boy's entire body. Immediately, the three girls looked on terrified, filled with worry. They shouted loudly, no, Siona! With tears streaming down their faces. They whispered, no. Suddenly, they recalled happy moments together. Along with that, a desperate thought crossed their minds. Someone please save us, someone please. Suddenly, the fierce hunting dog opened its mouth wide and lunged forward. Quickly, Eunhyuk raised his arm to block his arm caught firmly in its mouth. On this side, the girls immediately stretched out their hands, casting magic to attack the yelling hunting dogs. From Siona, her hair lit up brightly. Siona clasped her hands together as if chanting something. Her mind kept calling out, is anyone there? Suddenly, a powerful light burst forth. It spread to everything around, blinding the whole space. Suddenly, a gentle breeze began to emanate. It gradually moved toward the hounds, making them look around in confusion. That breeze grew stronger, like a whirlwind, sweeping the hunting dogs away. Soon it formed a barrier surrounding the four people. It threw the hunting dogs far away. Siona, seeing the phenomenon, softly asked, what kind of whirlpool is this? It seems like it's not harming us. Suddenly, Ha-Jang seemed to realize something and shouted. The girl quickly rushed toward the injured Eunhyuk, shouting loudly, Eunhyuk! The three quickly helped him stand up. Suddenly, a voice rang out, you must be scared. A pair of legs gradually appeared along with the voice. At that moment, a woman was hovering in the sky. This surprised the kids and the hunting dogs quite a bit. She stepped lightly on the breeze, approaching their spot. Her red hair was revealed, causing the four to look on in astonishment. Without hesitation, she softly spoke, can you all close your eyes for a moment? Zodiac, please seo Yi Huan. Ma Fong seo Do. Looking toward the hunting dogs, she covered her mouth with a fan and said, I will punish these bad ones. For you kids over here. Unha had almost eliminated all the hunting dogs around. Only patches of fire remained, burning them to ashes. Chat reached for a water bottle, then threw his backpack aside. Unha quickly opened the bottle, silently thinking, when in the mountains you have to drink some rice wine. As soon as it was opened, he hurriedly took a few sips. Thoughts continued flowing in his mind without pause. So I can't do anything? After drinking, Unha threw the bottle behind him and walked off. Holding the sword in his hand with a defiant face, he said, you're all definitely dead. Just then, the bottle hit the ground. Unha rushed decisively toward the hellhound. In the blink of an eye, it was attacked and thrown far away by him. From behind, the pack of hunting dogs also crept closer to attack. Reacting quickly, Unha stretched out his leg and kicked them away. He said, "Stop barking like dogs." In no time, he nimbly dodged from side to side, attacking the hunting dogs. Immediately, one lunged at him. Seeing that, Unha raised his hand to the gun barrel disdainfully and said, "Lie down and stay there until you die." Without hesitation, he decisively shot it down. Not stopping there, Unha turned around to fight the hunting dogs approaching. His sharp gaze and glowing sword blended with their black blood. In a blink, the hunting dogs were sliced into multiple pieces. Their bodies collapsed with blood splattering everywhere. Once again, Unha swiftly approached each one and tore them apart. They looked extremely fierce. Suddenly, he stopped, his face tired, trying to catch his breath. Unha fixed his gaze on the hellhound. Raising his sword, he said, "You're next." A gleam flashed in his eyes. Unha quickly charged toward the monstrous dog, mumbling in his head, "Heaven's movement." Suddenly, his whole body felt like an electric current ran through his bones. Unha's face grimaced. His mind silently questioned, "Am I at my limit?" But his legs pushed off the air and leapt. He quickly thought, "That's right." At the same time, the hellhound stomped hard on the ground to gain momentum. Unha didn't hesitate and rushed toward it to fight, silently thinking, "But what about this move?" Suddenly, the sword in his hand was caught in the hellhound's mouth. Seizing the opportunity, Unha hurriedly fired several shots toward it. 2 bullets shot out quickly into the air. Suddenly, the hellhound seemed to realize something. Its fierce eyes stared at Unha. At that moment, he froze too, cursing silently, "Damn it!" Immediately, the hellhound opened its mouth wide. From inside, a large flame surged toward Unha. Reacting just in time, he quickly twisted his body to dodge. The fire sprayed out just as Unha avoided it. But not stopping there, he grabbed the gun again and fired continuously at the hellhound. Quickly, the bullet struck its body directly. This caused the hellhound to scream in pain. At this very moment, Unha landed on the ground. Quickly throwing the gun aside, he looked at the hellhound in front of him, and so the man and the dog faced off. Unha gripped his sword tightly, telling himself, "I've run out of bullets, now I have to fight in close combat. My mana is running low, but I can still hold on." At this moment, the hellhound was still aggressively staring at Unha. Suddenly, the energy around it began to disappear. But in the blink of an eye, the hellhound was surrounded by black spheres emitting an aura. Along with that came a terrifying voice, "Arrogant humanity." Hearing this, Unha's eyes froze for a moment. He whispered, "It still has strength to keep attacking." Then Unha wiped sweat off his brow. "It still has some energy left to launch one more strike. Those are clean marks. Why aren't they something else? It's about to exhale smoke to attack me." The hellhound shouted, "I will destroy you." He angrily charged forward. "No matter what it is, I'll cut it all down." He swung his sword fiercely. Suddenly, a dark shadow appeared ahead. Unha was surprised. "I didn't think it was poisonous, or I would have just blown it away." He swung his sword powerfully at the hellhound. That damned thing, he bravely charged toward the hellhound without hesitation. The sword in Unha's hand began to tremble. He worried he had no mana left. Golden rays burst out brightly. The clashes between the sword and the hellhound threw Unha far back. He slowly got up. Unha breathed heavily. "I used up all my remaining mana to defend, and it still hurts this much." He leaned his head on the sword. He remembered that bastard Unha who looked like he was about to collapse. Jinparang was indifferent. Let him be. Not sure why they called him crazy. Because the true ability of the madman only shows when suddenly blue light appeared around Unha. It's only when in a desperate situation that the passive ability activates. He gathered inner strength and stood up, shaking the ground and rocks. The hellhound backed away in fear. Unha shouted, "Now's the time!" Charging like the wind, he launched straight at the hellhound. "You're done for." Unha's face was fierce as he charged. The hellhound sensed something. Unha chopped off one of its legs. The hellhound fell in fear and looked at him. Unha prepared to ambush with the next strike. The hellhound struggled to defend but was gradually losing strength. He noticed suddenly it created a black sphere pushing him away. The sphere grew bigger and bigger. Unha assessed, "Can you really call that stealth? If it's just this tough, I can break it. That's why from the start I told you, don't know if you remember, you shrimp head." He swung his sword and tore the black sphere apart. Inside, the hellhound appeared. Unha looked inside angrily. He opened the sphere. Didn't I tell you you're done for? Unha swung his sword for the final strike in front of the hellhound. He cut across its neck. The hellhound's head fell to the ground. Unha sat down exhausted, breathing a sigh of relief. He looked up. Unha exclaimed, "It's over." He quickly collapsed, and around him the golden dogs turned into dust and flew away. Sao John laughed. "Everyone close your eyes, I'll deal with them." Sao John turned away, smiling quietly. She closed her fan. Sao John scolded the bastards for not protecting themselves and doing something stupid. She opened her fan. Sao John performed a move to create a tornado. She calmly said, "No report until now." Sao John reached out. She was smug. "You're done for." The two tornadoes grew more violent. Suddenly, a purple streak flew into the two tornadoes. It tossed back and forth between the two tornadoes. The tornado had a deep purple color. Sao John looked at it confidently. She closed her fan. Sao John looked back at the kids behind her. She waved her fan shyly. The tornado quickly dissipated. Sao John awkwardly said, "Sorry, kids, I'm really scary, right? Don't cry, no need to be afraid." Hai Ut praised, "You're so cool." Ha Jang's eyes lit up, "You're amazing." Siona shyly said thanks. Hi Ut asked, "By the way, who are you?" "One of the 12 star gods." Minji reassure her and thank her first. "Thanks, Hayuk, I'm stunned you really are one of them. I just met one of the best." Minji reminds not to be rude. SEO. John smiles quietly. "Are the kids okay after going through all this?" Probably the kids lost their composure because they were scared. SEO, John comments the kids look pretty bad. Need to check if there are internal injuries. Ha Jiang is glowing. SEO, John surprised what Ha Jiang turns to look at SEO John. She runs over and hugs Ha Jiang tightly, making the girl freeze. SEO. John flirts. "Do you want to become a player?" The girl hesitates. "Player?" She nods yes, a player. "Thanks, Hyuk Chen says you will become a player." SEO. John probes this boy all right. Suddenly, SEO John hugs both of them tightly. "You guys are so cute. Have you been telepathic with me?" "Well done, thanks to you I know your location." Minji is happy, thought I couldn't do anything, but I did. The girl runs up and hugs SEO John. SEO John tells the kids to get down the mountain. The rescue team is already here. Minji worries, "Aren't you coming with us?" She laughs. "There are many others. I have to rescue, but I won't leave you alone." SEO John turns around, just finished reminding when a shadow appears from the mountain. Kang Cheon steps forward strongly. He says, "Why did you leave me alone? Do you know how hard it was for me to get here?" Hayuk firmly says, "The big brother still hasn't returned." SEO. John and Kang Cheon are surprised big brother is unconscious now. "You remember when you started taking care of yourself? Hyuk, if it weren't for me, how many times would you have lost yourself?" Rodung scolds, "The wound caused by the monster is quite big. Didn't want to lose your mind, so you hurt yourself. You sigh my body. What are you angry about?" She grits her teeth. "Damn brat, who will heal you? If it were me, Rodung, if it were my body managing it, it would be mine." Unha annoyed, "What are you raging about me?" "Sorry, okay, Ro." Dung looks at her. "Sorry. If you want to apologize, spend some time this weekend." Unha curious, "Why are you so calm? Just listen and obey." "Want to die?" "You're scared now, okay?" Unha opens her tired eyes right then. "You jump up in the hospital." Hayek looks at her wrist curiously, no injury at all. There is a knock at the door. SEO John enters, "Hello." Hyuk turns around, "Hello." SEO. John smiles brightly. "Awake already? Any pain anywhere? Are you suspicious?" "I'm okay. You saved me." Hyuk comments on the member of the 12 thrones. "What does she know already?" Selden sits down, "Just found out, take her to the hospital immediately." "Your name is No Right Unha." You smile happily. "Yes. And you?" She probably doesn't know I'm the monster slayer, right? She's confident. "Hi, Selden." Selden calls her sis, really Unha laughs. "I think we need to be careful what we say." "You realize something. Unha, serious, how long have you been here?" "What about your friends, SEO? John casually says about 6 hours. "Your friends are all okay. Senna and Ha Jiang are very worried. You've contacted the family, so they're probably on the way now. You're embarrassed. Luckily, they're safe. What will you say to your family?" SEO, John relaxed. "Unha, I have some investigations to do. Can you answer me honestly?" Unha firm yes. She props her chin. First question. "Why were you there and who killed the monsters there?" Unha silent scratches her head and smiles wryly. "I don't remember." "Did you just run up there?" Right before you fainted, did someone appear and save you? SEO. John, curious, really. But you knew the monsters were there. SEO. John leans on the hospital bed. She narrows her eyes. You think you're the one who killed them, right? Why are you staring, Unha? I think you're the one who killed those monsters. How do you plan to defend yourself? You wave your hand. How could I kill the monsters? I'm just in elementary school. Then reason I believe you can do it. While looking up your name, Unha, online, I saw that last year you received the Courage Award. What if she flirts this time? Did you also happen to defeat the pack of hunting dogs? Unha laughs. Let's drop this long old lady. You're stammering. Anyway, it's not you. SEO. John Chen arrogantly says he found your fingerprints on the knife and you still deny it. You're flustered. This time you can't make an excuse, it's awkward. This lady is sure you're the culprit, no way out now. You speak up to negotiate. SEO. John proudly. She has nothing to lose. Why negotiate with you? You calmly say I'll give you some important information. She smiles awkwardly. Information. You'll give it to her. What information, Unha? I can't say we're negotiating, aren't we? SEO. John predicts, seems like he no longer denies having wiped out the pack of hunting dogs. What information is this kid planning to give me? She asks, so what do you want? You shake your head, I don't want anything. SEO. John is surprised. Nothing at all. Ha waves his hand. I just want to live peacefully like this.